Magpies, they take on Carlton. Of course, it's Scotty Pendlebury's 400th game tonight, only the 5th player to reach the 400 game in AFL history. And of course, Carlton need to win this game tonight if they want to stay in line for a crack at the finals, which is coming around in just a few short weeks' time. So let's have a look as just before we go down to the ground to listen in to the bounce of the ball. Just want to check those ins. We've got Frampton, McCreary and Jordan Nagoe coming in for the Pies. Out are Harley Harrison, Sullivan, Parker. And for the Blue Baggers, we've got Akers, Mackay, Martin, Boyd coming in with Young, Carroll, Cowan, Cunningham going out. Of course, the sub is Lipinski for the Pies and Kennedy for the Blues. Of course, the big game here, Scotty Pendlebury celebrating his 400th milestone game. And for Carlton, Jack Martin with 150 games. So should be fantastic. What a game we're in for tonight, folks. We are in for an absolute cracker of a game. It's going to be a sellout crowd. The crowd is going to be huge, huge, huge as we get this game underway in just a moment. Tino Ben Megalove shout out. Guapa Day. Thanks for coming in. How you going? How you going? Let me get that a little bit straighter, Dibba. Somewhere like that. I'm just trying to correct the straightness if it wobbles a little bit. Sorry about that. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, just started. I just finished the other one with Geelong and Adelaide. Now we're on to the game of there we go. That's better. Now the sound's a little bit better. All right, I'm going to take us down to the commentators because this game is just about to get underway, and we'll take it away from there. Thanks, Lang. I hope you're going to have a good evening listening in to your team Collingwood play tonight. There we go. Good luck to us. Good luck to us winning tonight. All right, let's head down to the ground and let the commentators take it away for the opening bounce of the first quarter. Collingwood taking on Carlton.
In the ruck plays a pretty important role for that man there. I think Michael Voss will be honing in on clearances big time.
They only had 38 inside 50s last time, Carlton, and only went down by 6 or 7 points.
Yeah, I tell you what they did have. They had a heap of tackles inside their forward 50 last time they beat Carlton. What about from a Collingwood point of view?
Yeah, well, look, last week they were strong against the Tigers in patches. Early on they weren't great, but 14 from points against turnover, that is an absolute wary sign for Craig McRae and the Collingwood Football Club tonight. They need to make sure between 50 and 70 they get it right.
Here we go. Champ looks like he's going to the middle of the ground. So
surely that wouldn't give him a tag and
stick him in the guts.
Go straight to him, see if he can sit him on his backside. Scott Pendlebury's night.
Straight to Cripps. Here we go.
Carlton play the spoiler. It is absolutely electric here at the MCG. Let's sit back, enjoy this. We'll see you at quarter time.
A spare seat in one of the great stadiums in the world, and Pendlebury at the first centre bounce alongside Cripps. You cannot write the script any better than this. Sam Walsh, first disposal. Owies. No surprise, Nick Dacos involved early at the side bottom. This is the Shane Warne stand wing. It gets through to Newman. Underground handball back to Owies. Hewitt releasing handball from Cripps. Ollie Hollins and Quater. Hard man to beat one on Wayne Quater.
So, Das, as we thought, it is Cripps that it's got the Pendlebury matchup. Pendlebury will take him at the stoppages and then see how they run around. Chicotta goes straight to Dacos.
Ahead of the ball for the Blues, you've got Frampton on the Kai, Darcy Moore going to Charlie Curnow. So Scotty Pendlebury, game 400 alongside the superstar Paddy Cripps. What a matchup to enjoy. Bruce down to the hands. Look at Pendlebury. How often have we seen that poise? His ability to stop time and the gameplay all around him. Elliott inside 50 under some pressure out of bounds on the foot. Critical close there from Saad.
It's going to be those desperate acts all night that's going to take the win.
McCubbin to Elijah Hollins.
Outside 5.
Came to Carlton to play in big games like this. Wiedering has to be quick. Not quite quick enough. Mason Cox to the top of the square. And Saad again.
Big settling moment for the Blues. He's got a couple out on the southern side.
How good that chase down from McCreary a moment ago. They welcome him back into the side. Cripps has worked hard to get out on the outer wing and then stood up Noble with some poise and brilliance to Hewitt. They don't want on their lead-up target. It's Charlie who's pushed up. A couple of kicks from home. Mackay, the next link down the line. Beautiful kick. You can't kick that any better. Harry Mackay puts the thumb up. Really? And said thanks for that silver service.
And I think we can expect a bit more of that throughout the night. Not this final kick inside forward 50. Pulled beautifully there into the path. But that build-up, chip mark, taking away the ability for the Pies to create more pressure. We saw when the ball was live in the back line there, their ability. It was McCreary on that stage getting across and closing down Wiedering. Those kick marks take that ability completely out of the game.
Out with illness last week, Harry Mackay, for the perfect start. He's dragged that one across the face. Live ball still, a little nervous moment, but eventually rushed through for the first score of Saturday night footy.
Howe straight up the middle. Finds Frampton. Releases him at defensive 50. Kick clears Chincotta. Away goes Bobby Hill. Will look up inside 50. Elliott at the back on Wiedering. Not quite. Goes to ground. Sard arrives first. Another big moment. And Adam Sard covers once again.
Wiedering, unbelievable. 2-on-1. Made the right decision going to Elliott. Brings it to ground.
It's pretty poor forward craft there from Dan McStay. He needed to pump up at the kicker, make Jacob Wiedering make a clear decision. In the end, he was able to play the 2-for-1 perfectly.
Number one defensive one-on-one player in the competition. Jacob Wiedering does it again. Cox tried to lay it down to Pendlebury. Hill tries to crash through. Umpire says play on. Kick from McGovern. In the Mackay direction. Dacos with the crumb. Pendlebury to Josh Dacos. 48 out, low, flat. And McGovern cuts it off.
Pulsating atmosphere here at the MCG. One of the great rivalries in sport, Carlton Collingwood. Historic occasion, and you can just feel the tension. Curnow, Quainer smacked it back into the path of McCreary. Couldn't quite get a handle on it. Newman at the ground level has been able to wrap this one up.
The ball up the Magpies' end for a little moment of time here, giving them a nice opportunity to set up behind it. Jeremy Howe now finds himself as the spare.
Newman hacked the kick out towards the interchange race boundary line. Cripps, Darcy Moore.
Collingwood.
Late whistle that.
Darcy Cameron, clear out. Come back on. Stand.
He's got the wrong Darcy there. Darcy Moore, free kick. The captain of Collingwood copped a little high one from Paddy Cripps. Launches a high ball to half forward. Mason Cox, big pack, and that is a big mark. Getting back, Brody Kemp, strong grab.
Good confidence booster early. Cripps hadn't moved from standing on the mark. Down the line for Curnow up in front. Spoil came from behind from Howe. Curnow takes more down. Quick whistle.
Thanks, Darcy.
Geez, it's a fast start. You just feel like the one side just needs to take a little bit of gas out of the game here.
Pulses racing. Almost an elimination final for the Pies and for the Blues. Well, they're fighting to jump back up into the top two. In reality, if results were to go badly, the Blues could find themselves out of the 8 at the end of the weekend as well. It is a huge game. Pitternet only as far as Nick Dacos to a one-on-one. Elliott versus Sard. What a matchup that's going to be. Pendlebury cruises by. Can go deep towards Cox. Will it get there? It won't. McGovern again.
Intercept mark, and immediately the big change of direction kick. Ollie Hollands. Bold kick through the corridor. Had to be perfect. And it is. Fogarty. Akers. Good build-up. Nick Dacos. Brilliant defensive effort. Got back and he saved an opportunity to go forward for the Blues. Now a big one-on-one. Cripps tracks it. To go, a couple of big bodies there. Spills back. It was nicely done. Akers worked really hard to get across to Bytel. Dacos hands it back to Noble. Popped a high one. Have a listen to the crowd noise. Fogarty slaps it to Hewitt. Can he step around Darcy Cameron? Underground kick. Awkward ball for everyone. Howe. Pinder picks it up. Side bottom finds the handball. And a bit of relief for everyone with a boundary throwing.
Well, this is finals like at its absolute best. Contest from contest. Small wins everywhere. Just time over the footy so important in these big moments, especially early on. You see there, the Blues getting it done at ground level, uncontested possessions, a clear domination early.
Pitternet and Cameron. Pitternet goes down and picks it up. Vitale gets a piece of him. Martin in his 150th. Akers taken down. Was he carried forward by De Goey? Umpire says ball up.
Darcy, thanks, mate.
Cameron the tap. Hewitt had the arm held.
Mark's back here, please, Jack.
George Hewitt fell out of favour. Spent a couple of weeks out of the side. Was shifted around. He's back in the heat tonight.
Yeah, absolutely in the heat too. Right back in the middle. So it looks like Chincotta's gone back, playing on Bobby Hill. Hewitt will go back in that middle mix.
Let's get 5-1 for the season. Sets this one up. Who'll go at it? Only Howe. Dacos front and centre. Dangerous kick. They'll come from all sides and Mackay will take it.
Well, there you go. The two players kept their eye on the ball. Mackay and Kemp again, I think it was. Great mark. Nothing but eyes on it now. An opportunity, confidence booster to go back for the perfect start.
The only 3 to go for all Carlton players. Harry Mackay averages almost 3 goals a game against the Pies. Push that one across the face.
Aaron Phillips, you've been involved in big sporting events all your life. Tell us about what it's like down there at ground level.
It is unbelievable atmosphere down here, guys. It is as loud as I've ever heard the MCG. Fans hanging over the fence, which you'll love to see.
It's just electric here. Thanks, Aaron. He's going to go back inside 50 Cribs. Charlie Curnow, always hard to defend. Darcy Moore did well, surrounded by Magpies. Will they get an opportunity to get inside their forward 50 job?
Pleasing start by Harry Mackay, 2 off the back of last week being out. Looks like there's no concussion symptoms, if that was the case.
Play on's the call, picked up by Motlop. It was a strong tackle, but well executed from Josh Dacos.
Josh.
Stars have come to play. Cripps has 6 touches, Nick Dacos 5. Pitternet the backhander, Hewitt, Hollins, bends a goalward. Curnow on the line, good defence from the Pies.
Pies have got to have that extra help in all night, because if you have one worry about that Carlton forward line, it's in the air.
Now to get some good third man up help so far as Maynard set sail down the line. Wiedering brilliant at that himself. So often you see him coming across to affect the spoil, as we just saw. 150 games for Jack Martin tonight. An important piece of the puzzle, you feel, for the Blues. Pitnet, Cameron, a little toe poke. Nick Dacos got too clear a purchase of it and it's out of bounds on the full.
Collingwood fans cheering for the 10-minute mark for number 10. Boyd the switch. McGovern the fumble. Cox arrives. He's got some support. Wiedering the fend. And the Blues can escape back to Boyd. Working hard to the wing is Walsh. His third touch. Boyd off was short. It's ignored. Back inside to Chera. Another who's been shifted around a little in recent weeks. His first touch coming up.
We have seen this footy a little bit against the Magpies, the kick mark style that just take the gas out of them a little bit.
Punch that kick hard. It clears Hewitt and Noble and out of bounds.
That last boundary throwing, we saw extra numbers around the stoppage. So Carlton early on setting a number up. The Pies have decided to match that. So instead of the usual 3 pairs here, you've got McCreary up as an extra, the same with Noble.
little draw from the boundary throw. Darcy Cameron did well. Pendlebury started in great shape. Exposure number 4 in game 400. Ned Long came across from Hawthorn. Josh Dacos to go in half forward, and McGovern did well in front. Batted it down. Newman managed to get it free under some pressure. Boyd's kick tumbles over the head of Darcy Cameron. Mackay clean bowled him. Billy Frampton confronted by Charlie Curnow. Fogarty almost smothered by his own teammate there. Noble picks it up. It's a really hot pressure game, as you'd expect. Chincotta comes in. Well done again, Pendlebury. Newman, a hot handball to Aikens. Scotty Pendlebury bowled him over. Magpie fans love it. Billy Frampton feeling some heat. And then maybe got a little lucky there. A high one from Walsh.
Yeah, got away with it. You can just see that premium of spending time over the footy. That was 2 fumbles in that passage of play from Billy Frampton. As soon as you do that, you see the heat coming. No time and space out there.
McGovern will fly early and spectacularly.
Unrealistic intent. Stand. Play on.
Away goes Josh Dacos. Directs the kick to the pocket for Hoskin Elliott.
That's it, Brody, where you are.
Has kicked 15-4 in his career against the Blues. This a tough one. From the Jamie Elliott position almost. Hard up against the fence.
Certainly capable from here. Get some nice revs on the ball that goes nice and straight if he starts it on line.
Opens up the angle. Still to a dangerous spot, but there's Mackay working back to support his defence.
He's looked sharp, Harry Mackay. Both ends of the ground, pushing back hard. Intercept mark now, Newman. Again, courageous kick. Has to be perfect, and that allows an opportunity for Chris. Inside forward 50 go the Pies against surging handball. Hard to tackle, Nick Dacos. McCreary had one up, pin. And some benefit of the doubt given to him as well, so.
Yeah, just evident that the Carlton Blues have been talking about putting the pressure on, making sure there's no back step. When they're committing, they're really going for it.
Finals-like game unfolding here. Finals-like consequences. Massive occasion all round. Curnow did really well to keep it in front and then collected a high one himself. Normally loves to get moving quickly. That's exactly what he does. A little directed. Jeremy Howe. Happy to see that one over. Boundary throwing.
Marks so far in this game, 19-4. So you can see the way the Blues just building the ball up. The Pies, when they are getting it back, happy to go. Link up with handball chains, keeping the ball live, running gun style off half-back.
6 of those have been intercept marks, Daisy, from the Carlton defence. Martin tries to bust through. Collins grips on the overlap, weaves his way through. Boyd straightens up, goes for goal. Misses left. The Blues with the first 4 scores.
So 6 of the 19 intercept marks, which tells you the pressure on the footy's fantastic. So that last handball when you are shoulders out, that's becoming a rush kick that's going at a well set up defence. The more you can get time on the footy and go forward, more chance you've got of finding a mark inside forward 50.
Stay. Long immediately wrapped up.
Just love this Cripps movement through the stoppage. It just shows the form that he's been in all year, and just bring it in tonight's game too. Creates an opportunity for a score involvement.
See the power that he's got and how hard he is to tackle in that situation. The Carlton kids are asking the question. They get the answer they were looking for. Elijah Hollins has turned it over though. Not the man you want the footy with if you're a Carlton fan. Nick Dacos wanted his brother Josh, who lost his footing. McGovern came charging at it. Motlop did well. Cleared a pass for Saad. Sees Charlie Curnow. The kick wasn't great. Nicely done, Maynard, and that was an elite kick in the end of side bottom. The southern wing for Hoskin Elliott has a run up forward of the football. Noble spears it to 50. Hill. Bobby has it just inside the 50.
Stand, Jordan, stand.
Carlton with the first 4 scores, but all behinds. Can Hill get the Collingwood army up and about with the opening goal?
Harry Mackay's made his way down as the extra again. So we saw that last kick in from Hoskin Elliott get intercepted. Hoskin Elliott is usually the flyer in these situations too.
From 51, always narrow. Just sneaks in for a minor score.
Galvin immediately into the path of Elijah Hollins to Motlop. Carlton fans asking the question about 50, and they work this really nicely to Cottrell. Releases the handball back to Chera. Into the path of Cripps. Disposal number 8 coming up for the Carlton captain. Within his range, Daisy.
It'll take his absolute best. Harry Mackay's got a slight mismatch here. Mason Cox now getting down to him. Be surprised at the last minute if this gets pulled.
17 minutes into this quarter, I reckon every player out there is enjoying this little bit of break that Paddy Cripps is taking.
130th game as Carlton captain's third all-time behind the great Stephen Kernahan, and John Nichols just dragged it left looking for distance. Still yet to see a goal.
Inside 50's 8-6 to Collingwood. As Howe goes up the middle. They challenge the Blues up the middle now. Carlton have been doing the same thing. Elliott, can he get out? Has got men everywhere. Goes to the flank. Hoskin Elliott, 55 out. To Goey! Beautiful ball movement from the Pies. Crack them open straight up the middle. Jordan steps around and it's open goal to Collingwood. Jordan De Goey gets his 200th AFL goal. And the Magpies get the first of the night.
Well, this is the kick that sets it all up. Not only was it up the corridor, but it meant that Josh Dacos was shoulders out going forward and a scrambling defence. Well done from Hoskin Elliott, picked the right decision. Geordie De Goey there gets on the end of it. It's the fourth longest wait we've had all season in the first quarter to get a goal.
Is there a bit of set play about that kick in, Daisy?
I don't know if you could call it so much of a set play, but it did look like they overloaded this side, which allowed the ball just to slide out. It's a good call, Das.
First goal of the game is, Thomas pointed out, taking a while. It's been a really hard-nosed battle. Jamie Elliott signalling that he's going to head into the left pocket, and he is truthful, heads back towards De Goey, launched at it. Picked up by McCreary. Pendlebury, the 400-game champ, back to Hoskin Elliott. That's a good-looking kick. Back with a flight. Cripps was that front on contact. They might let it go. Schultz came diving in. Pendlebury again. He's been clean. He's been brilliant. Oh, you couldn't believe it. It was a millimetre away. He's got a smile from ear to ear. It deserved it. And it was nearly there.
And it wouldn't have surprised us, to be honest. I think he'd maybe even shocked himself. But a bloke with that much skill, Days.
It's a fair time to wait to bring some sizzle out in your game.
Again, aggressive ball movement up the middle. Boyd's kick ends up with Motlop. Now Owies. Cottrell streams by on the outer side. Owies inside 50. It'll bounce through to Fogarty. Has some support. Coming the other way, Martin. Taken down by Maynard. Nowhere for Walsh to go.
What a great effort there from Braden Maynard. To not give away a free kick when your intent is to tackle one player and then another one comes at you all of a sudden. You know, at times he can be a touch clumsy with his effort. Well done there.
Off Hewitt. Side bottom fashions a handball. Pendlebury breaks from the stoppage. Will it sit for him? Chera works him towards the line.
Here's that Maynard effort that you were talking about. Great effort not to give away the free kick in that scenario. It's been impressive how both sides have been able to take on the corridor throughout this first part of the quarter.
Such aggressive ball movement, isn't it? In a game of such high stakes.
I think the most impressive part is the way the defences have scrambled to slow both sides up in and around the arc so they can't get in there to dangerous one-on-ones.
Such a hard footy to win. Every contest is an enormous battle. Long one from Saad. Look at the defence. They came en masse. And Howe gets some high fives to the applause of the Collingwood faithful.
Mark, Mason.
Sean Silver pointed out, Curnow and Mackay always loom large. There's some work in team defence to not allow them to get off the chain. Pendlebury, brilliant. He's been outstanding early. And the driving tackle from Cottrell got Josh Dacos where he wanted him.
You always love that pressure early in the game, especially where they're coming up at the defence and going straight through them.
And another chance here to set up. They've had good movement through these stoppages, a chance to get their first goal.
Blues sticking their tackles early. Pendlebury. High towards the middle. Back with courage, Boyd.
Stand. Play on. Inside.
Drives it back inside towards Curnow. Moore gets back. Third man across.
Frampton's doing a fantastic job at the minute of just locking down one of their forwards there. Doing a good job of not giving away a free kick and just waiting and trusting that the help is going to come.
Same can be said for Owies, who did a super job to get that away from Quaynor and make sure it's a stoppage in their front half instead of a Collingwood release. Harry Mackay on the phone receiving instructions. It's under 4 minutes to play in the opening term. Mason Cox hits it to space. Hewitt having a big opening term. Chera back to Hewitt. Feeds it to Pitternet. Tough one for Saad. Chera off the back foot. Spirals it down the line. Can Martin make something happen? Cripps pops it over the top. Akers has got to go. Slapped away, and here goes Josh Dacos.
Time and space, and that normally spells danger. But well done, Mitch McGovern. Read the cues beautifully. Dacos follows up. Josh got the handball out. Crisp. Picked up by Cottrell. McGovern, the left foot sizzler. That was brilliant. Non-preferred. Couldn't hit Charlie Curnow much better.
You love that. Had the space in front of him and made sure he used it up too. Great use from Mitch McGovern off the half-back line too.
First time we've probably seen a one-on-one for the key forwards. Curnow or Mackay. There you go. Great look at that. Beautiful pass. Impossible for Billy Frampton.
Great follow-up work too. McGovern was the one who broke it up in the air. The intended ball for DeGoey, staying in the play.
56 goals, 39 coming in to tonight's match. Charlie Curnow chasing 3 consecutive Coleman medals. Just pushed that one across the face.
It's a great call too, Days. He's able to follow it up because Carlton is so well set up from defence. They've got the extra numbers, so he's got the confidence to keep going, Mitch McGovern.
Blues missing some opportunities early. Maynard goes long. Kemp flew across the contest. Hollands, look away handball to Kemp. Tumbles to half forward. Maynard against Mackay. And Braden gets it to the line. So Blues with 6 behinds. If kickable opportunities have gone begging.
At the front.
Usually super efficient inside 50. Getting looks, but not yet finishing. Ollie Hollands in there. Nick Dacos at the bottom of that pack.
Carlton,
Will penalise it.
get up, straight up, back to Hewitt, let the ball go. Straight back now, right now.
So George Hewitt, 9th touch coming up. Only Cripps has had more with 10.
Play on.
Launches it. Curnow at the front. Howe at the back. Frampton. Concedes.
The rugby pass about it.
Little bit of the rugby pass, but also just treading on that 10-metre line too.
Crowd's had a look at the replay, and there's some questions being asked. We'll come back to Mitch McGovern. We'll get to Aaron Phillips in a moment about what's going on there. Walsh sets sail for goal. Frampton this time a more conventional way to rush one through. So Rhoda Maynard putting the hand up, knowing they're close to quarter time, and just to steady the ship here.
4th rush behind for the Blues in the opening term. Mark Payne to DeGoey.
Stand.
Inside 50's 13-10, but it certainly feels like the ball's been in Carlton's front half a lot more. Going down the line, Mason Cox presents. Who's going to win it on the ground? Dacos does. Crisp away. Schultz, Pendlebury, back to Crisp. Closes. Nick, 35. Goal! Brilliant link-up football from Collingwood. 2 goals off the back of such fluent ball movement. Nick Dacos on the end of it for his 16th of the season.
The one-handed ball win on the wing there. Crisp involved, and just the way they both tracked the football. Pendlebury back to Crisp, running on his left side. Knew Dacos was on the outside. The finish is sublime. And nothing better than when you're going into almost shut-it-down mode, the last minute of the quarter, to just snatch a goal like that against the momentum. That's massive.
There was a Pendlebury handle in there that was elite. It was disposal number 9. Up and go forward off the booted Cripps. Been tough going so far for Curnow Mackay. Cottrell flicks it back. This is Elijah Hollands. Back to Cottrell. Time for a late score here for the Blues. Owies understanding the time scenario and just miscued. Marcia Cameron has become as reliable a ruckman as there just about is, and a short one's okay to Josh Dacos.
Collingwood just need to be tidy from here. To the wing, Sard comes over the top. Hewitt's got to get it in really quickly towards the boundary line. 5 seconds. Mackay dribbles, bends. Oh, what a goal! Brilliance from Harry Mackay. Magic from the boundary line, and we are all tied up. 2-2 to 1-8. Saturday night footy.
All right, folks, it's quarter time at the footy. Collingwood 2-2-14, Carlton 1-8-14. Harry Mackay with a miracle goal on the siren, dribbles it from the boundary through, brings them back level pegging. I tell you what a game. This is Carlton and Collingwood of old. They've both got the pressure gauge absolutely on fire in this game. These two teams have come out to play, that is for sure. Imagine if the Blues could kick straight. Oh, no, I tell you what. Chris, how you going, mate? How you going? Just as well they're not at the moment. Well, there's a couple of rush behinds there in that, yeah, and some of their kicking. They haven't had the easiest of shots, not that I've seen, so that's all right. You know, I'm happy if they keep, putting behinds on the board, because we want the Pies to win. I'm not biased, but I want the Pies to win. Come on, Pies. Let's have a look at the ball magnets for the first quarter. And we got Paddy Cripps. He's having a good game there for Carlton. He had a good opening quarter with 11 disposals, 5 kicks, 6 handballs, 2 marks, 1 clearance. George Hewitt, he's going good for the Blue Bags with 10. Nick Dacos kicked a smooth goal minutes before the end of that first quarter. He's on 10. He's had 4 kicks, 6 handballs. He's had a tackle and a couple of clearances. His brother Josh also with 10. Scotty Pendlebury, the man of the moment, his 400th game. He had a good opening first term with 9 disposals. Kicked the one behind. I tell you what, he nearly kicked a miracle check side banana kick from the boundary, but it hit the post, unfortunately for him. But he had a bit of a smile on his face anyway. Nick Newman, Hollands both with 7. Walsh, McGovern, Boyd on 6. A few of the top players there for Carlton, and then we hit side bottom. Maynard's having a great game in defence, as is Howe. Jamie Elliott still to come into the game. A little bit slow, as is our other man. We'll get down to him not too far away. But you know what? Everyone out there is doing their job, doing their role for the game, for their opposing team. Doing the job, doing a good job there. Jordan Agoe, we want a little bit more from the Bull. He's had 3 possessions, 2 kicks, 1 handball. He's had 2 marks, 1 tackle. He was the opening goal scorer for the match tonight, Jordan Ngowi. We want him to get on fire as well for the Pies. Billy Frampton, just with the 2, fumbling the ball a little bit early, lucky to get away with a couple of free kicks. While we Port 45, Swans 0. If you're following Port Adelaide and the Sydney Swans, if you're a Sydney Swan supporter, you might as well have an early night. But you know what? Maybe stay tuned for another quarter, because it could be a swing where the Swans get the momentum in the second quarter. That's a big margin, 45-0. Wow-wee. There we go. Bobby Hill, he's a little bit quiet. He needs to fire up too with Degoe and our other man, Jamie Elliott. They need to fire for the Pies if they want to get the job done today. Mason Cox, a lot of contested ball, but only so far just the one disposal. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. There's not many goal scorers here. Harry Mackay, who kicked the freak goal from the boundary for the Blues right on the siren. He's got 1, and Degoe and Nick Dacos 1 each. Not many goals scored in that first quarter, but I tell you what, folks, it was just super, super high pressure. Disposals pretty even. They're getting the ball pretty similar each. Inside 50s, the Blue well on top there, 16-11. Disposal efficiency, not too bad for both teams. It's sitting around about the 69-70%. Inside efficiency sitting, well, the Pies are a little bit under there. They need to lift that. And the free kicks, not much happening in that department. Both teams tackling really well. So no reason for the umpire to blow his whistle and give a free kick. There are the stoppages. Hit-outs, Pies leading that by 9. Clearances to the Blues by 4. Centre clearances 2-1 to the Blues, and the stoppages 9-6 to the Blues. Contested are dead even at 27 apiece. Uncontested, Blues up a little bit, just getting the kicking it to each other, etc. like that. So they're getting those a little bit more. The turnovers 17-12. As I said, she's a pretty high pressure match at this moment. Will it continue in the second quarter? The speed of this game back and forth and the high intensity of pressure. But we're about to go back down. Just have a look at the defensive tackles. 16-12. Blues doing the job there, and tackles inside 50. 1 each. I'm surprised. I thought there'd be a little bit more. Pies doing a little bit more in the 1%ers. 17-13. But I tell you what, folks, stay tuned for this game. This game is going to be one for the ages. Going to be one for the ages, as they've both got a lot to play for to win. Collingwood need this victory to keep their chances alive for the finals coming up not too far away, and Carlton need this victory for a possible chance at the top 4 and to stay inside the top 8. And, of course, celebrating Scotty Pendlebury's 400th game today. What a champion of the game. And as you can see there, Carlton went in as favourite at 154 in this match, and Collingwood was 237 to win this match. All right, folks, let's take it back down to the ground of the commentators, where they're getting ready to bounce the ball for the second quarter.
Yeah, look, I think just from look at the scoreboard there, they've had 9 shots on goal. From my Carlton, they've been kicking the ball really deep inside 50, but nearly too deep. It's gone in the sort of 10 metres out and been rushed a couple of times. So just been a little bit cleaner sort of centre forward, and that's been something Carlton's had to work on for the whole year.
I think you expect sides to settle into this quarter. It was a really, as you said, finals-like atmosphere. Both sides really experienced. I think it's time to settle, make better decisions with the ball.
I love the Darcy Moore went to Charlie Curnow as well. We'll keep an eye on that matchup. We'll have full analysis at halftime. Nathan Buckley to join us as well. Quarter time, all squared away. We've got an absolute belter here at the MCG.
Cameron the tap. Hewitt tracks it in one direction, past Fogarty. Socket by Cameron will work for Hoskin Elliott. 2 metres, play on. Short to Quaynor. Play on. Wants to step inside Hewitt, who doesn't bite. Will go again. Wiedering will arrive late. Noble the take. Walsh the pressure. Maynard. Howe. Feeds it back to Moore. He puts it into the path of Bytel. Skids across the slippery turf.
Just see the pressure on the ball by the Blues, that they can push them back and then just force them to make an error. They'll be really pleased with that. But McGovern has made his way back onto the ground in that back line for the Blues.
That is great news for the Navy Blues. Important part of their structure. Mitch McGovern. The ruckman.
Block, Carlton.
Able to access the footy, and sometimes you toss a coin on those ones. And when Mark Pitternet, feeling like it was his lucky number, short to Akers. Cripps called for it. They're going to go backwards to go forwards here. Nick Newman. We've seen this a bit, Daisy. Carlton really prepared to just hit up those little short marking targets.
Prepared to be patient, try and pull the defence out of the pies. You can see here nearly every number's behind the ball. So the more marks you can take between 80 and 60 metres out, the more that defence just can't sag back.
Eventually Hewitt has to go the big dumping kick down the line. Easy pickings though for Darcy Cameron, and they will be happy with that. The Magpies getting that support from their ruckman, not 15 under the Shane Warne stand side. Maynard dumps the kick down the line, and there is Wiedering with a big intercept mark of his own.
Now we look to potentially change direction. Try and move that Collingwood turn around. Sard. Kemp. Ollie Hollands. He's got McGovern setting up. That's where he's going to head. He's going to have 3 around him. And Moore picks it off. So now Carlton have to turn offense into defense and spin around and try to man up.
It was the right kick, just poor execution. That's the one. If you can pierce that zone, you wheel and go from there, you get it straight into one-on-ones.
Just hung a little long in the air, didn't it? As did Cameron. He brought it down beautifully. Bobby Hill sprints away to the right of his screen. He's in the pocket calling for it. No one's picked him up just yet. He's still there. Ollie Holland spins around, sees him. Hasn't quite covered him yet. And Hoskin Elliott will bring it more centrally. Hill's still in the pocket with his hands in the air. But the Blues defence waits off as the Collingwood fans cheer for Scott Pendlebury. He'll set it up. Front and centre. Cameron, well done, Chera. Fed out. Dacos. This is right.
Great picture of what Nick Newman has in front of him. Sees something he likes. Looks out Brody Kemp. And that's got risk. Pendlebury brilliantly executed tackle on Ollie Hollands, and it bounced back into Pendlebury's lap, and they've trapped it. And half forward.
He attempted to kick.
In that exchange with Scotty Pendlebury, he said, I don't care if he attempts to kick it, he's got to dispose of it correctly, which is a fair point to make. Picked up beautifully, Bobby Hill, slider! Oh, diving effort from Akers, and the post was hit. They are peppering in this second quarter, the Magpies.
Didn't hit that at all. It just skidded, but skidded straight. Walsh from halfback. Again, dangerous kick. Martin presents, but Pies have the numbers. Schultz, well done, Martin, got a hand in. It was really important. Might still pop out the back. Contact.
Really pressing here at the Pies. Some nice momentum early in this second quarter.
Maynard towards the pocket. Elliott the danger. Chincotta not quite to the line. Schultz kept it alive, and Kemp cuts it off. Can they hit this release kick? Pies have pressed right up, as you can see. So Kemp will just go long and wide. Mackay worked underneath it. Frampton takes it.
Got Cox in the pocket.
Kemp standing him. Sets it up. Here comes Mason. Wiedering reads it best. He was about 4 deep.
Jamie, stand.
Just reads the flight of the ball so well, doesn't he? Didn't have an opponent there, just followed the ball in. Took it so well.
The Blues looking for an outlet.
Mark, he should have taken in game 150 off the side of the boot and opens the corridor now for Ned Long. He's going to release the handball to Noble. Sees Hoskin Elliott. It is camped in Collingwood's forward half at the moment. Short one to Bobby Hill. Carlton rolling numbers back. DeGoey's lead. Presents up. And Jordan DeGoey was capable.
Repeat entries. They're going to get a shot at it at some stage.
Really have piled the pressure on, as Joel Sewell just mentioned. It's a matter of time eventually when you keep asking the question. De Goey kicked the first goal of this game. A good-looking effort, just didn't come back enough and threw 4A behind.
So they've had 6 of the first 7 inside 50s in this term, Collingwood. 2-5 to 1-8. 4 of Carlton's behinds in that opening term rushed.
Just need a big contested mark here, the Blues. That'll relieve all the pressure that they're feeling early in this quarter.
Newman goes towards Pitternet, but it goes the other way. Cameron's got it again. The Pies will not let them off the hook here.
And eventually the damn wall will break. There's only so long you can defend the ball when it's going deep inside your 50.
Josh Dacos has just come off the bench, which draws Akers forward. Cameron sets it up, and Cox, the only man to fly. Didn't quite hang on. Well,
a good decision.
The officiating umpire said play on, and the other overruled him.
I think that's why we have the extra umpires. We'll have a look here. Yeah, that's controlled long enough from line.
And that's the argument that we can have. We've got 4 umpires out there. When you find that it's spending a lot of time in a part of the ground, it seems that there's 3 umpires in sort of a really small area. Might get the communication wrong. They're human at different stages. So it was the right call at the end of the day.
Frustrating season for Mason Cox due to injury. But there's a moment. The Pies skip out to a 9-point lead. And that relentless pressure eventually pays off. 6 of the first 7 inside 50s, and Mason Cox capitalises.
Well, it's a great job, and it was just the blocks that they go on, that Collingwood do, that they've done time and time again to get them in this position. But with just the pressure that was built up to create that goal too, time and time again, they were able just to get the opportunity for Mason to get a go.
Beautifully done. Cameron and Nick Dacos forward to McCreary. Put some leg speed on. Look at the kick from Dacos. That is sublime. Clinic out of the centre bounce. Dan McStay found himself in an acre of space.
That kick inboard there from Nick Dacos is as good as it gets. When all your momentum's going the other way, the ability to not only see the space but put it to the advantage side. Didn't break stride, didn't mistake.
Ruptured his ACL December 2023 while at training. Great to see Dan McStay back, and the Pies are rolling with back-to-back goals. Centre clearance win into the hands of Nick Dacos. Not going to be able to stop that too often.
The Pies just putting so much pressure. It's built from here in the middle of the ground. Nick Dacos putting pressure on again. 7-1 inside 50 to start this quarter, but only so many few players can do that, Dave.
That is incredible. To pull the ball back across your body is hard enough at the best of times, let alone full speed. We marvel at the bloke, but for good reason.
Time for the Blues to respond, and up steps their skipper. Cripps wins the stoppage, but hands it over. Holland's not on the same page. Nick Dacos pounces. Another inside 50. Play on the call. Mark not paid. Schultz goes off the ground. Blues under siege right now. Boyd under pressure. Throws it on the boot, but the Pies are set up again. Cameron has it. Can switch. Carlton on the ropes. Collingwood throwing a flurry of punches. And Noble.
Can't be long before we see Chin Potter moved on to Dacos, I don't think.
To the pocket. Spoil comes just in time. And Dacos up to 14 possessions, 1 goal, 1.
And just having McStay and Cox back in this forward line, looks like there's so much more space for Collingwood in there too when it hits the ground.
Pitternet taps it back. Taken by McStay. McGovern. Straight up the middle to Boyd. 2 of their better users, but he's dropped the mark. And that was really clever. A fumble from McGovern. A soccer from McCreary. He misses. Hill bobs up. Still there. Koskinen Misses. Blues living dangerously.
Opportunity goes begging on the back of good pressure. Joel, if you're in the Carlton coach's box, are you making the move? Are you sending someone to Nick Dacos?
Yeah, you are. Absolutely. I don't think it'll be too long until we see Shinkoda go make that way over there. But also going to try a couple of lateral movements here. So take it to the other side of the ground. Just try and keep the ball off him here.
Daisy got a great read on the signs that go up. That one looked like press pause for a moment for the Blues. I think love a timeout if you could in the basketball. Well, they are under siege at the moment.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's the off button, so don't be surprised here if you see Harry Mackay or Charlie Curnow deep in the back line trying to steady things up.
Pies are piling on enormous pressure. There is Mackay back, and they're starting to feel that perceived pressure. A couple of fumble. Look at McCreary go. Just hung on to the tackle a touch long. And a little bit of reprieve here for the Blues, but they press go. Taman, everything under pressure for the Carlton Footy Club. Really feeling the heat. Martin's Hamble wants Cottrell, Quainer. More pressure. Akers wants the boundary line. How impressive is this from Collingwood?
Yeah, it's impressive, but it was a poor decision from Sammy Walsh to call for the handball. So you've just got a free kick. You're waiting for your numbers to get forward. The sign's gone up. Mackay, we saw inside D50. You just need to compose that possession. If you do have to go long down the line, buy yourself some time, buy yourself the territory, restart from there.
Great insight from Dale Thomas. Newman floats one inside 50. How the spoil. Cottrell the crumb. Desperate lunge from Noble. Quaynor. Handball a little hot for Noble. Mackay. Chera. Can he find an option? Elijah stands and waits, and the Blues need a settler.
Just the polish from Chera. Go back inside. Take your time with the ball. Find the option.
13-5 for Elijah Hollands in his first season in navy blue.
Hold that line, Elijah.
Not too many more important kicks so far this year for him. Collingwood have dominated the early going in the second term for one against the flow. Splits the middle. Critical goal from Elijah Hollands, gets the margin back to 10 points. A much-needed steadier for Carlton.
He's become a really important part of what is the Carlton Footy Club. A point of difference when he does get through the midfield, but also when he can go forward and hit the scoreboard.
He kicked 1 goal, 2 in his last 4 games, so his form dropped off a little as Blues had kicks up 1 there.
Well, they've been starved of opportunity down here, the Carlton forward line, but this is what they've got to do. Put the pressure on Cottrell, Motlop, getting after the ball. And if they can have this polish, it will help. Elijah Hollands and a great pick-up for them. Such a competitor across the half-forward line.
Crucial goal against the flow of play. Can they get another one? Raising the knee free kick. That opens the path for Chera inside 50. Frampton slapped it down. It was nicely taken by Dust. What a smother. Fogarty brilliantly. Picks it up. Back-to-back goals. Carlton. Brilliant. Individual bit of brilliance. That will make Michael Ross smile. From ear to ear. Some forward pressure. Fogarty put his body on the line and picked it up beautifully.
We hear him talk about the moments too, the coaches. Well, that's a big one.
Well, small forwards getting to work was the result of the last goal as well. Fogarty there, his own piece, brilliance. The smother, the follow-up, but efficient this quarter, the Blues off the free kick in the middle. That's 3 inside 50s to 10 the other way. That's 2 goals straight to 2 goals for the 10 inside 50s up the other end for the Blues.
Lockie Fogarty, the quintessential role player, and he's found his niche in this team. Margin back to just 4 points. Collingwood will get the clearance. Pulsating game at the G. Chincotta. Hill runs him down. Forced the difficult handball. Dacos scoops it over the top. De Goey's got to turn and find it. He does do exactly that. Needs support. Pendlebury almost run down. Kemp comes the other way. Leaves it behind.
Contact, Carlton.
And the Blues defence can escape.
High contact.
So it feels like the Dacos is getting picked up by Hewitt. Carlton doesn't really want to go away from it. I don't think they don't want to bring Chincotta up because it takes away from their midfield.
And Chincotta's got the job on Bobby Hill. So Bobby Hill, not a whole lot of impact yet. We know how dangerous he can be with limited possession.
Chincotta did a good job at him last time these two sides played. It was a thriller back in round 9. The Pies by a goal. Boyd, searching kick. Mackay comes across. Moore with the emphatic fist. McCreary marched over the line by Hollands. Critical response from Carlton after Collingwood dominated the opening stage of this second term. Just under 9 minutes left in the opening half. It's the Pies by 4 points.
Cameron with strength. Carlton are winning some nice 50-50 balls here at the moment. Dacos toe poker to himself, and then that'll be interesting. They will. Not a lot of doubt, man.
Almost contact below the knees. Umpire slid through McCreary.
Saad. There's a little bit of umpire contact. Might have been the umpire making the contact, I think, on that occasion.
Does Bo get to charge 1,500?
That's a good question. Curnow had a good piece of the mark by Tell. Tumbles this one down the line. Hoskin Elliott happy to reset the boundary throwing.
And that becomes a little important touch too. There's no doubt if that went out without Hoskin Elliott touching it, with how tight this insufficient a temporal is at the moment, that would have certainly been paid.
Scores level at quarter time. 4-point ball game right now, charging through to Goey. Chincotta had him in his sights. Pendlebury somehow managed to get the handball forward. Martin, good body work out the back. Dacos, Josh it is, to Goey. Couple of steps, sizes up the goal, and hammers it home. De Goey's got a couple. Out last week with a groin issue. We know what he's capable of. Jordan De Goey out here in the MCG, and that power, hard running forward, can be devastating at times.
Well, Collingwood got their mojo back, and it's Jordan De Goey off the stoppage. Started behind it, made his way through with speed. Nice little touches. They know the link-up play that they had, and look at him demanding the ball as he should. Kicks it through. 2 goals, 13 from stoppages this quarter, the Pies.
It's been a massive issue for the Blues in recent times. Hewitt to Walsh. Mackay's going to need to be quick because Elliott's come screaming it off the square.
They have to be better in that area now, the Blues. This is something you work on, you talk about with a clear deficiency. Numbers around the footy will be the next move. You just continue to get beaten 1v1.
Hollands to half forward, Martin. Cottrell flipped it into the path of Walsh. Feeds it back to Chincotta. Floats it. Mackay came over Cameron, got it to ground. Akers in there scrapping on the deck.
They're just inviting that pressure a little bit. Sam Walsh, last 2 handballs been backwards. Can they just find a kick outside?
Pies have definitely been the hunters in this second term. Crisp with strength, got the hands free. Hill and Chincotta. Spills for Hewitt. Clever handball releases Ollie Hollands into space. What can he do with it? Short kick. Cottrell.
Stand.
Mackay 35 out. Curnow at the top of the square. The lead from Cripps. Drops it. Wrapped up by Frampton. Ball up.
We heard from Michael Voss pre-game that Cripps had spent some time forward. It's a nice option to have. Demands the footy, the big presence down there alongside Charlie and Harry. The only issue is that means he's not in the midfield.
Jack Martin back to Elijah. Hollands to Hewitt. Akers launched at it. Martin, was he taken high? Umpire in really good position there. And fair tackle awarded.
They have looked dangerous in this area, though, the Blues all night. The repeat stoppages getting momentum through it.
We go to work the small forwards. Ground ball to be won. It's pinballing around Cottrell. Hands it back. Bogan. He's had some important moments. Holland's well tackled. Noble. Great defensive pressure. McCreary. They can surge from here. Boyd just slapped it back inside 50. Only as far as Howe to Josh Dacos. With that, he's going to land perfectly in the lap of Nick Newman.
We'll bring it inside. McGovern to Walsh. This is the challenging kick for the Blues. Can he find a target? Mackay clears the contest and won't sit for Cottrell.
Would love to see that ball just continue to transition around the arc. So you get it into the corridor, Newman gets it there. To try and shift the defence, you've got to move the ball, continue to make them readjust. When you get it to that area of the ground, then go back in skinny. It hasn't had to shift too much at all.
Matt Kennedy, the sub. The Blues have won the last 4 clearances. Side bottom, belts it to the line. Says throw it in. Just the Collingwood bench. They lead by 10 points.
Harry, ball's going to come this way.
11 shots apiece. Well, 4 of those for the Blues are rushed. Mackay tries to work his man under it. Akers swoops and hits the post.
Well, surprisingly, scoring from kick-in has been an efficient way for the Pies to get it done. They've kicked 2 straight from that facet. The average points for in a game is 4 points, Gus. So they've got the 2 goals straight from that area.
Been aggressive, haven't they? They've taken some kicks through the corridor. Darcy Cameron has been outstanding. Another contested mark. Disposal number 11. It's his
Stay outside 5.
4th mark of the night, and
that's what we haven't seen at the other end. When the ball's been camped down the Blues end, they haven't been able to find that big contested mark just to relieve the pressure.
How that will work to Bytel. Former Saint. Trying to establish a permanent role in this Magpies team. Happy to go to the contest. Mason Cox couldn't get a jump at it. Nice mark taken by Sard. Oh, some risk in it. Elliott's eyes lit up. Cottrell did superbly well in the end under an enormous amount of pressure.
Blues living dangerously. Cottrell's kick terrible. Schultz cuts it off. Can the Pies make them pay? Long's handball no good. And Chincola can get the Blues moving forward. Martin's got to stand and wait. Frampton arrives but concedes. A pretty smart free kick. Couple of options inside. One of them Stewart. Walsh. Motlop. Confronted. Pumped a handball. Got a push in the back. Just another look.
No, you're on the mark. You're on the mark.
Thoughts?
Come on the mark.
That's a free kick.
Out. Thanks, move out.
So Jesse Motlop has kicked 4 straight this season. In fact, combined AFL VFL has kicked 14-1. But this will really test his range. He may look to give it off or set it up. He's turning around to see if someone's coming past. Sard does now, but he's covered. Motlop launches from 55. Gets a fair piece, but not quite enough. 5th rush behind as we head to Erin.
Yeah, guys, hopefully not big news, but Scott Pendlebury did go down the rooms with 2 doctors, so hopefully he's okay. And also for Carlton, Chera is also down the rooms, and the sub is also warming up, so not looking good for Chera at the moment, boys.
Thanks, Aaron. There are a couple of big unfolding stories here at the MCG. We'll come back to that. And Kennedy, starting sub.
He's got his top off too, ready to come on the ground.
So maybe an activation there will follow Scotty Pendlebury with interest. McCreary, brilliant. That's why they love him with the side, Daisy. That sort of pressure.
It's unrelenting. And nice to get one back after you've just given away a free kick. Clearly a bit of niggle there. He enjoyed that one. But those run-down tackles, well, especially when it's going out the open side, worth their weight in gold.
Just a month, Bro McCreary with a calf issue and one of the great pressure forwards. They love his role. Mason Cox is looking like he might have been infringed.
No, you wrapped your arms around him. Put him back. Mark's here.
And you said it, Joel. It's the difference and the point of difference he makes being down there in that forward line. He makes defenders nervous. It's a mismatch with Nick Newman. The umpire said you put your arms around him.
They're the two players right there, McStay and Cox, making this forward line look different. Haven't had him for long parts of the year. We'll go down the other end. Darcy Cameron's just sitting himself in the hole. No one's collecting him. Not looking dangerous at all. Pies well ahead in this part of the ground.
Signed a 2-year extension late last year. Mason Cox, 11 disposals and a behind in his return match last week. This feels like a significant moment. And he stares at home. Big Meso's got a couple, and he gets in the face of Newman, and it just might get a bit aggressive from here. They come piling in. There'll be some fines handed out.
Starting positions.
Umpire's trying to just clear the mess here. Mason Cox can't help himself. He's lost the glasses somewhere in all of that.
Just a lockdown from Mason Cox and does get in the face of Nick Newman. Tells him that that's the matchup that he wants. Nick not happy about it. Aaron, you got news for us?
Yeah, guys, so Adam Chera has been subbed. Kennedy has come in, and Adam has had a history of hamstrings, and that is another hamstring issue for him tonight, so disappointing for him.
Missed rounds 5 to 7 and 10 to 15 with a hamstring this year. Critical couple of minutes here for Carlton. Collingwood will get another inside 50. Blues trail by 14 points. Pies have the momentum. Crisp has the ball. Pitternet. Cripps. Boyd. Ollie Hollins. Blues need some composure and Martin provides it.
That's the kick. That's the outlet kick they haven't been able to find enough.
Now to Hollins.
So just continue to build this ball up.
Dangerous at this time of the quarter to go there. Risk reward. If it gets to the back, it might be reward. Curnow. Kennedy. The sub from 50. Motlop strains. Motlop gets there.
And it might have to take that risk and reward that you talk about. Taking it back through the middle. Playing brave footy. Challenging. That's how you thought Carlton had to come into tonight. Well, Collingwood's been the braver side and getting the opportunities from it.
Matt Kennedy on the field for 57 seconds, gets involved. And Jesse Motlop starting to get involved as well. As I mentioned earlier, he's kicked 14-1 for VFL and AFL combined this year. 4 straight at this level. Blues need this one in the shadows of half-time. And he sprayed it.
It's a bad miss. Stating the obvious, but how this quarter's played, a rare opportunity for high risk, high reward attempt. That hurts.
1 goal 4 from set shots. Carlton, you can see, causing some stress with Carlton fans around the MCG. Under a minute remaining in the first half. McCreary played his role to perfection.
It only says the 4 possessions on the stat sheet that he's been incredibly important. Cut the rundown tackles, that pressure. The longer this game goes on, it's going to be those moments that continue to build the pressure, give yourself opportunity.
It's all unfolding. Only a handful of metres away from Craig McRae. You just signal to the players, let's just play this one out to the halftime siren, enjoy the lead that we've got. They kick it down the line to Newman. You'll understand the scenario as well. Are they going to try and sneak a late goal here? Paddy Cripps. He'll be getting some instructions himself. Drives it long. Can they get a contested mark? Smashed away by Howden. Clear the boundary line. That was clever. Ollie Hollins trying to keep it alive. Dacos smart enough to guide it over.
Collingwood system really hard to get through here. I mean, they've got numbers jumping at that ball, but when it hits the ground too, look like they've got a lot of great support around it.
One more opportunity here for the Blues. You can see Craig McRae says just get in there, get the numbers in. Pitternet, Motlop couldn't. Crisp. 3 seconds. Needs to be a clean tap or a high shot.
I'll tell you what, half-time MCG, we've been here for some unbelievable games of footy over the years, boys. The finals last year were loud, Brownie. It's back. That Collingwood fanaticism is back. The supporters have turned up. The Carlton Footy Club supporters are trying to put their flag in the ground. It is an unbelievable atmosphere.
Yeah, that's right. The fans don't Blues to spoil the Pendlebury party, do they? They're magnificent. This is finals type pressure, no question about it. The big boys for Collingwood, magnificent that quarter. Darcy Cameron, Mason Cox kicked 2 goals.
Yeah, they're fantastic. For mine, Carlton's pressure just dropped off in that second quarter. 17 tackles in the first quarter and only 7 in that quarter there. I think Michael Voss spoke to them about the way they were using the ball. They slowed it down, and that was not the way they need to play football.
I think Carlton's clearance work is okay, but the forward pressure from Collingwood is forcing them to handball back and then dump kick, and then they are just going. They are swarming this Carlton side. A couple of big moments for Carlton. The players haven't stood up.
Collingwood are back for mine. I don't know whether they win tonight or whether they make the finals, but that is what we've been waiting for all year. That sort of pressure and fanaticism. So the Telstra...
Carlton are feeling it, Gaz, because Jesse Motlop.
They are.
Jesse Motlop misses from 15 metres out directly in front with a minute to go.
They've been here before. They've stood up before Carlton, so they're not wilting. But I tell you what, the Collingwood pressure is back. Telstra highlights Nick Dacos being absolutely superb. Always is in these big moments. Never takes a backward step. His brother's back into a bit better form at the moment, but George Hewitt's gone to him. Hewitt hasn't been disgraceful by any stretch of the imagination, but Nick Dacos again's had a big saying things.
Yeah, he has. He's just got this incredible work rate, and you think of players that he's worth at least 2 players, Nick Dacos. Just what he does is when he gets the ball, he actually gives it to players and creates the opportunities to come forward. His kick inside 50 to McStay was incredible. It was just the ability to go, well, I know where the space is. I'm just going to kick it to where you need to go. So at the moment, it's Hewitt going to him. Do they think about potentially trying to shut him out? Thank you very much. If you're a key forward and you run into that one, Brownie, is Chincotta maybe the one that goes to him?
Yeah, well, he's got a hill at the moment, and they just sort of don't want to muck around with their midfield. Maybe he will if he gets right off the chain. Inside 50 diff in that second quarter. Couldn't get it out. 10 forward half intercepts Collingwood had.
Yeah, they are magnificent. They set up the territory, and that was the problem. Obviously, Carlton, well, they were on top of the territory in the first quarter. They just couldn't put it through the big sticks, but they were magnificent there, Collingwood. And this is what we saw early in the season. When they got back into really good form, they were a front half team, and they were able to capitalise, so they'd be happy with that part of the game.
Couldn't get out. 10 forward half intercepts. So in the end, the scoreboard, okay, 13 points, but that's Collingwood that we used to see.
And they kept kicking it, then Carlton were under pressure, and they kept kicking it back to Darcy Cameron. Yeah, he was magnificent.
But I think you're a little bit like what you said before, that the tools are working well together, and then we look at the other end, and they're not working well together. So set up so well behind the ball. Being here live, you can see that. What I think they can get more of an advantage of Collingwood going forward, change the angles a little bit to pick some different targets going inside forward 50.
Well, sneaky one, Jack. The highest rated player on the ground at the moment is Jordan De Goey. Yep. So he's had 7 touches, but he's had 4 score involvements. He's kicked a couple of goals.
Yeah, and we said that he was good off a spell. We know that he's been battling groin injuries at the moment, but he just gives this Collingwood midfield a different dynamic. He gives them that ability to burst from stoppage, and when he doesn't get involved in this first bit of play, his smarts as a forward is like, I can't impact, I'm just going to keep getting forward. And as soon as he starts to get momentum going forward, he's really hard to track. And there, you cannot teach that ability to just keep rolling forward. And because Dacos and Pendlebury are so smart with the ball, there's this predictability to know, well, we know that Jordan's role is to roll through the stoppage and go for the glory. He doesn't get it, just keep going forward. So if we want to handball it forward, potentially he's always going to be there for us.
He got his power back. That's where Chera did his hamstring. Chera chasing De Goey, yeah.
So Chera's been subbed out with a hamstring, and Kennedy comes in. So the Josh Dacos role in all that's just holding his width, been really important.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a half-back, so he's been
100% last week at half.
Went half-back last week, so he's just controlling. He's that cool head. They've got a spare behind, but he gets back, runs really hard in defence and sets up their play a lot from back half.
He was one of the guys who was involved in the kick-ins. They kicked 2 goals from kick-ins as well, Geordie, and it looked like set plays. They were sort of getting him up close to goal and then turning him around and heading back in Collingwood's direction.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by the way that Collingwood have moved the ball. I think they're reluctant at times to go long down the line to a contest. They're really finding that space, owning the big parts of the ground and really spreading towards that. Their skills have been on the back of what the pressure they've been able to create, taking the ball forward, using the ball really well.
This fast-paced style of movement is, I think this may have come from a lesson they got taught by the Hawks 2 weeks ago. Hawthorn absolutely crucified Collingwood out the back with the speed, and it was those high half forwards that have got electric speed. So you think of Hill,
look at the pocket of space at the back.
But Creary there, you can just see going out of the stoppage. He's so important. Schultz has started to find his mode in this Collingwood offense, Collingwood team, is that when they've got out the back, they've been able to hurt Carlton, who are a very high pressing team and very flat as well.
Let's turn our attention to Carlton. So we've seen Collingwood beaten by Geelong and by Essendon by just maintaining possession of the footy. It's not the way that Carlton traditionally play, but at times tonight they've tried to do it. They've looked a bit confused, I reckon. When you have a look at these numbers, that's not really the way that Carlton want to play the game.
Well, they're going to wield on the vine, weren't they? They kept playing the way they did in the second half last week against Port Adelaide. So I think that's certainly reactive. Michael Voss during the week would have said, we can't win. We need to start to attack the corridor more. Clearly, it's been a focus for them because their heads turned straight corridor from early on in the game. And it looked dangerous at times, though. So they know they're going to go all the way to September glory. They need to be able to attack from one end of the ground to the other.
I think this is the risk you take as a coach. You try and promote corridor use and use the ball out of back half and go really quick. You trust that the players will use this with really good balance. I thought in the first quarter they picked the right times to go. In that second quarter, they just played into Collingwood's hands, created front half turnovers by the decisions that they made with ball in hand. High risk when that play wasn't necessarily on.
You don't need to play on as well. Like there's sometimes when you play fast footy through the corridor, there can be this like element of panic where you think, I've really got to get fast. The ball will always travel faster than the man. So it's just that turn kick we see from McGovern. Actually just pinch hit it forward. 15 metres. It doesn't need to be players running with the ball.
Every now and then, I don't think it's a bad thing either. With this crowd and this momentum that Collingwood are getting on the back of it, just take a bit of heat out every now and then. I don't mind it. Just on Adam Sherritt, has been subbed out. Kennedy comes in, 5th hamstring in 12 months.
Yeah, well, that might be the reason that they were playing at half-back and they were reluctant to put him into the midfield.
We're going to take a break. Nathan Buckley's going to join us on the other side, but as we go to the break, let's get the very latest from Sportsbet.
All right, folks, halftime here. The commentators will be back in just a moment. What a quarter. Can this pace keep up? This is a hot, frantic pace. The pressure is exceptional from the Pies. Carlton doing well, getting a couple of goals in that quarter. A couple of breakout goals from them, so they did well. But the Pies well and truly on top in this game. 6-6-42, leading the Blue Baggers 3-11-29. Not all missed shots, about 5 or 6 rush behinds there for the Blues. That's why they've got so many behinds. Let's just have a little bit of a look while we wait for some of the commentators to come back, give you more of their thoughts. Let's have a look at the player stats and we'll see who's leading the way here. As George Hewitt is leading the way for the Blues with 18 disposals. The leading possession getter on the ground, 9 kicks, 9 handballs, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 6 clearances. He's having a good one. Nick Dacos looked silky smooth as always in there. Got a few clearances. He got 4 clearances, so he's doing a good job, is Nick. He's kicked the 1 goal, 1. He's the 16 touches. He's had 9 kicks, 7 handballs, 2 tackles. Next, we've got Nick Newman with 15. Josh Dacos also with 15. Paddy Cripps with 15. Not too bad, but maybe a little bit quieter in that second quarter than the opening quarter from him. But still doing a great job. Sam Walsh there with 14. Scotty Pendlebury back on the ground. He's got 14 now. He's going all right, the old timer. His 400th game. He's doing well. Good stuff, Scotty Pendlebury. Holland's there with 14. Jeremy Howe having to do a fair bit of work. Down back defending there. He's got 11. Darcy Cameron's having a great game on 11. Hoskin Elliott getting the ball a bit for 10. We run down there. Maynard's having a good game, as is Crisp. Just keep running down. You can see all yours. Jacob Wiedering, a little bit quiet there for the Blue Baggers, just with the 6, 5 kicks, 1 handball, 3 marks for him. Jesse Motlop, just with a 1 behind there, 6 disposals. Jamie Elliott, 6. He's putting himself into positions, but not just clinching the ball there. Flying in the pack. Side bottom's having a quiet one. Schultz is having a quiet one. Harry Mackay, he's having a little bit of a quiet game for his standards there for the Blue Baggers, just with the 1 goal, 1 off his 5 touches. Bobby Hill's quiet. Charlie Curnow's very quiet. 4 disposals, 3 kicks, 1 behind for him. McJonesy, oi, how you going? Come on, Blue Boys. Billy Goat, how you going? Go Pies. So that is the possessions for your players. We'll have a look at the goal scorers. Let's have a look who's kicking all the goals. And that's Jordan Agowie and Mason Cox, both leading goal scorers there for the Pies with 2 each. Daniel McStay with 1 and Nick Dacos with 1 for the Magpies. And for the Blue Baggers, it's Harry Mackay, Hollins and Fogarty, each with 1 goal. All right, let's have a look at the AFL fantasy points. You play that game. Nick Newman there for the Blues, leading on 67 with Darcy Cameron on 67. Both top in the table. George Hewitt, 63. Elijah Hollins, 59. Sammy Walsh, 58. Josh Dacos, 54. Scotty Pendlebury on 53. And Nick Dacos on 50. That is the AFL fantasy points. Let me just see if the commentators are coming back. They'll give you a few more of their thoughts, and then we'll have a look at the team stats after. So they're just showing a few highlights of Scotty Pendlebury as he's on his way to his 400th. I'll put this sound back on just so you can have a little bit of a listen to it.
And it's gone the right way. Footy barracks for Collingwood and so do they. Around the outer side, it was Pendlebury, and he's kicked a goal.
And now Pendlebury on 50. Well, there you go. Pendlebury already has 1. He found that left. Twist, he turns. He's still got the magic.
Massive night here at the MCG celebrating that man, Scott Pendlebury's 400th game, and Nathan Buckley joins us, who's played a massive role in his career. Bucks, great to see you. Normally we'll be working with us, but we gave you the night off to celebrate the 400th. You know how long he's lasted when he's outlasted Dennis Cometti and Bruce McAvey.
Yeah, that's, look, it's been an amazing journey, and to witness what we're seeing tonight, I think we should take a moment to pause about it. We actually mentioned it in the President's dinner. But only the 6th player to play 400, and you guys would have spoken about it pre-game. When I saw the vision with 4 of the other 5 guys that have done it, it sort of brings home how significant that actually is.
Yeah, and all of those players that have played 400 games, this is the moment you're talking about earlier on in the week, how good it is. Shorty Bergman's flown in, they've all gathered. Fortunately, Kevin Bartlett couldn't be there, had a medical issue, but the rest of them are there, and how good's that?
Well, talking to Pendle's partner, Alex, she said that it was actually this moment on Tuesday when the enormity of it actually sunk in him, because he's so process driven, you know, and you can see he's in the moment now. He's influencing even in his 400th game.
No easing him into his 400th either. No. Straight to Patrick Cripps. How have you seen his game?
Oh, look, he loves the big-bodied midfielders. I think he's been excellent with it. You know, if it's a Bontempelli or a Cripps, he'll lean in on those players at stoppage. He'll try and affect their ability to influence aerially. And already, I mean, I think his arm looks a lot better than it did a month ago. He's tackling a couple of strong tackles here, and this is very un-Pendlebury-like to go for this goal. He very nearly pulled it off.
That was going to be the iconic moment. It's going to be replayed over and over again. It just caught the inside of the goalpost, but he's had a fantastic battle. Both he and Cripps have had an impact in this game.
Yeah, look, it's a finals type atmosphere, and it's a really tight game. I mean, Carlton's pressure's been excellent, but Collingwood have been able to buffer it. Collingwood's defensive setups looked excellent. They've had Jeremy Howe or Darcy Moore loose out the back, and they've made it very hard for Carlton to move the ball.
Yeah, I think they're getting right back to their very best, Collingwood, tonight on what we've seen that first half. Take us back to his debut game. It was 2006, round 10, I think. You were playing.
Yeah.
He said, quick, give me the vision, because I set him up for his first.
It wasn't a bad kick. But Pendles needs to, I mean, even as a young player,
have a look at that.
You need to be in the hole, and I suppose, stay in the hole the same way we saw Elijah Hollands, earlier tonight. You have to stay in the hole and know that there's pressure coming. And I think Pendles just does the simple things really well. He's done it for a long time, and there's so many things we can measure that he's at the top of, but the things that you can't measure, the intangibles that he's done so well, probably better than any other player in the comp over that time. And yeah, it's just great to be here to soak it up.
It is a special night. I'm glad you're here just to watch it all quickly. Will he break the all-time record?
Look, he would require him to go into 26, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think, as long as he's contributing to the club, to the team, and not holding them back, and you can't see that, any evidence of that at all.
I would not bet against him. Hey, enjoy the rest of the second half.
Cheers.
See if the Pies can get up. Hey, it's a massive triple header coming up on Fox 42 tomorrow. So much footy, so many results at the moment. The Giants and the Hawks, that is going to be a magnificent start to your Sunday. Can the Bombers hit back against the red-hot Fremantle? And then the Saints.
All right, so there was just a few words on Scotty Pendlebury from Nathan Buckley, the prior coach to the Magpies. All right, let's have a little bit of a look now back at the team stats. Please get up, Pies, says DMR, watching the Port game. Too nerve-wracking. I tell you what, it is a nerve-wracking game. It's a nail-biter up until half-time. The pressure, it's a cracker of a game. We saw another great game with Geelong and Adelaide this afternoon. That was fantastic. Let's hope this one goes down to the wire. I tell you what, it's nearly a full stadium here. The crowd looks massive. I haven't heard the figures so far, but I'm thinking it's got to be up 80,000+ in the house tonight at the MCG. Don't forget, folks, if you want a chance to put your vote in who you think's going to win, don't forget to get on the poll there. I've got who's going to win the game tonight. It's going to be Collingwood or Carlton. So far, we've got 48 votes in. We've got 69% saying Collingwood will win and 31% saying Carlton will win. We're in for a sensational second half of footy here, coming up not too far away. So the disposals, as I was saying, Collingwood definitely did dominate that second quarter. They got a little bit of the score on the board, but Carlton hung in there well, only to be 13 points adrift of the Pies at half-time. The disposals, pretty much even there, only 15, the difference in favour of the Blue Baggers, and that pretty much comes through their kicks. 119 to 103 in the kicks. Handball's pretty similar. Inside 50s, there we go, 26 to 25, both on season's average, both getting plenty of chances in there. Handy Van, how you going? So there we go. 26 inside 50s for the Pies for 12 scoring shots. And, of course, the Blue Baggers, 25 inside 50s for 14. So pretty much on par there. Disposal efficiency still around the same, 67, 70%. Not too bad. Their efficiency inside 50, pretty much on season's average, not too bad. Neither team has dipped below that. 50%, so that's pretty good for both teams there. Free kicks, 7 to 11. The umpires have put the whistles away. I think Carlton were a little bit lucky in that quarter not to give away a couple of extra free kicks. It did look like they were there, but the umpire put the whistle away. The hit-outs, the Pies in front there, 26 to 11. 15 on top there. But the clearances, the Blues are up by 50% there. 21 to 14. Centre clearances, pretty level there, 5 to 4. Each getting their chance out of the centre with their clearance, and the stoppage clearances, Carlton a little bit better around the ball there. All right, the contested possessions, let's have a look at that there. The Pies only by 7, so pretty tight there. Uncontested, Blues by around about 36 there. Not too bad, they're doing a good job there. It's just the pressure of the Pies with the contested. When the Blues get it, they need to sort of chip it round a little bit to try and get that and slow the game down a little bit as well for them when the Pies are running hot in that second quarter. Turnovers 36, 32. Actually, that's not too bad considering the pressure of this game. Time in possession, well, there we go. That's surprising to see, 44% so far. Blues have had the ball, 44%. V35 for the Magpies. Last 10 minutes of that second quarter, 28% for the Blues, 24 for the Magpies. Let's have a look at the marks now. Blue Baggers by 19 in the marks department, 6 each in the forward 50. And the contested marks, the Pies are doing a little bit better in that aspect, 8-3. Defensive tackles, 25-26, both doing their roles there. Of course, the tackles inside 50, only 1-2, Carlton leading that. 1%ers, Pies doing a little bit more there. But there we go. So the players are back out on the field now, and this game is going to get underway in just a moment. So I'm going to take you folks back down to the ground to enjoy the second half of this game where Collingwood leads 6-6-42, leading the Blues 3-11-29. Enjoy the second half.
It brings in this ground level game that they've been known for.
So you want Shirley to...
He's both got it.
Rubbed off. You want Charlie to get up higher?
I think the other thing, Brad, he's been fighting 2v1. So that is a tough task to ask him for. But
that's because
you're
he's
right.
deeper stuff.
Yeah, put him in the midfield, set him up a little bit high. You have to change the game, and he needs a different position.
Can he play in the ruck? Because this is what McKay gets. He gets a chance to go up and roam around, get his hands up. He goes 20 minutes without touching the ball.
I tell you what he is. He's a third quarter specialist, and that is a fact. So let's see whether he lights up here. Mark Pitnet, 1 possession in the second quarter, 2 in the first. Been dominated by Darcy Cameron. He's got to find a way to impact. Big matchups continue on here. So much at stake. Can Collingwood keep their season alive? This sort of form would put the fear into every side in the competition. And the Blues, top 4 spot there's for the taking. See you at 3/4 time.
Magpies. Darcy Cameron.
Collingwood, advantage.
Going to get the free kick. Nick Dacos awake to it to Pendlebury in space. Some time. Over the top, Schultz read it better than anyone else. Farmed a little Hamill back to Elliott. A little bit too hot to Hamill, and Akers was involved. Gets it to Kemp. High. Driving up and under type of ball. Crisp had it fisted away from him. Picked up by Newman. Clever tackle from Dacos. Made sure that didn't give away a free kick. Cripps has dragged it in. It did come back out. Schultz. This is how the game started. Contest after contest. Little Gaelic-style kick from Pitnet. And the Blues trying to work their way out. Frampton put his body on the line. Mackay still pinballing around. Cripps. Akers is down behind play. Pendlebury couldn't get a handle on it. Eventually he did to side bottom. The two veterans combined. And a mark to Schultz.
3 metres, Nick.
As Blake Akers picks himself back up.
Stop play.
Play will be stopped.
Just stopping play? Yes, you do. Just wait.
Blake Akers is attended to. Looks to be okay,
Stand.
relatively speaking.
Play on.
Schultz.
End zone.
Big pack. Goes at this one. Pitternet couldn't complete it. McGovern coughed it up. Bobby Hill bends it. It just clips on the left side of the post. 3 behinds for him so far this evening. Collingwood by 14 points.
Shaping Shane Warne stand side, and he honours a little chip into the path of Ollie Hollands.
There was a clear out number on this side of the ground. Now going to have to be patient here.
Jeremy Howe sets himself. How often have we seen him do that? Nominated for mark of the round 39 times, Jeremy Howe.
Stand.
And that's what happened when you don't go to the numbers. Collingwood so easily just shift across with that extra.
Play on.
This is Bytel.
End zone.
Another inside 50 and sliding into a gap. Some miscommunication from the Carlton defence, and Will Hoskin-Elliott takes the easy mark.
Just a little bit unorganised, the Blues, and on the other hand, it's Magpie's system just taking over. It feels like Darcy Moore knew that he was going to have that mark taken over the top of him.
Chance to strike first here for Hoskin-Elliott. Game 221. He was originally picked 4 back in the 2011 draft. Classy player, started it right and it stayed there.
Critical time of the game for the Blues. They trail by 15 points. They've had a couple of these
Outside 5.
dangerous little deficits. They've managed to haul them back. Have to do it again here.
Stand.
Umpire almost swallowed the whistle.
Play on.
Kemp. Saad as Holland's working for him. This is Ollie, defensive 50. We'll look up and see Kennedy with 3 on him, so we go deeper than that to Curnow. Charlie will look up and center it to centre half forward for Cripps. Tried to flip it to Hewitt. Pies have got representation there to try and lock it up. And they'll do better than that. Maynard with the free kick.
Stand, Patrick. Stand.
The shifting of the defence has been a real standout from the Pies. You saw that ball get transferred to the open side. Every defender just continued to roll back, trusting that the pressure was going to come, which in the end, Charlie Curnow rolled, went to go. All he saw was Collingwood jumpers inside forward 50 in front of Mackay, and we've seen so often when that doesn't happen, he pierces that 50-metre dart to the advantage of Mackay.
Let's just say that, Daisy. It just feels like Collingwood, for the majority of the night, have played the game the way they want to. And Nick Dacos over the top. Bobby Hill, clever handball. Elliott, capable, decides to centre and kick, but Motlop was a weight to it. And a goal-saving mark to Walsh. That kick is okay to Mackay. 2 metres. He's had to go deep into defence to help out.
Ball movement been a real problem for the Blues.
Play on.
Ranked third last in the competition for D50 to forward 50. We're seeing those struggles tonight.
Play on.
Collingwood have got it locked in. Dacos. Kennedy couldn't control it. Tagoe taken down by Hewitt.
Contact. Collingwood.
Non-officiating umpire spotted it. Aaron Phillips.
Yeah, boys, more issues for Carlton. Matty Cottrell is out with a confirmed shoulder, so more disappointing news on the injury front for Carlton.
So the Blues now down a man. They've already used their sub with Adam Chera out of the game with a 3rd hamstring injury this season. Tagoe will set it up. Kemp will come at it.
Play on.
Crisp, front and centre, goes bang. Pies are making their move at the MCG. The margin's out to 21 points.
Well, I'm not sure if we've seen Collingwood's forward line function like this for a long time, but it's just all this movement, making the contest, bringing it to ground, and that's what the big boys have been able to do. Darcy Cameron on that occasion brings it to ground. Jack Cripps finishes it off.
Daisy, feels like a game where Michael Voss has maybe got to try something unusual, put Charlie Curnow on a set of bounds. Is there anything like that springs to mind? This game feels like it's slipping away.
Yeah, even if you had to go completely rogue and put a Charlie Curnow to a wing, we've seen Jeremy Cameron play different roles like that to get involved in the game.
Scoreboard not out of control, but the game well and truly Collingwood's way. Elijah Holland's one. He could have handed over the top, but he put his hands up, Joel, and said sorry. It's just the connection not there at the moment for Carl.
No, it's missed. I think even bringing those big guys up the ground a little bit, Charlie and Harry, and then making sure those small forwards of Carlton have got, get them in behind with their speed at the moment.
5 points goes begging. Curnow could have had an open goal. This one gets over the back. McCreary will be happy to take on Wiedering for speed. Well done, Saad. Left his man, but then left the ball behind. McCreary's going to come charging through. Receives from Elliott. Looks up. Has to go. He has a better option than that. Hill comes over the top. Does the team thing. Brilliantly done, Pies. Hoskin Elliott gets on the end of it. Really smart football from Bobby Hill. And their end-to-end ball movement tonight has been a real contrast to Carlton's. They have kicked some spectacular running goals this evening.
We speak about missed opportunity and lack of connection at the other end. Bobby Hill knowing exactly what he needed to do, understanding Will Hoskin-Elliott was the player at ground level, just getting it to ground. That's all he had to do in that situation, and the goal as a result of that That's 3 straight now, end-to-end goals from kick-in, just showing how disorganised and how poorly Carlton are defending the ground from set-play situations.
Getting critical for the Blues. Next goal, massive. Mackay, clean possession, but into the hands of Nick Dacos. Punches it to centre half forward. Kemp will go back and take an uncontested mark.
So even a Jack Martin out of the goal square, tell him to just disconnect completely from the zone or your ball movement, and just know if you get it centre forward, kick it to space. Need to find a way to change the angles against his organised Collingwood defence.
Elijah Hollands. Back to Newman. Sliced his way through some traffic. Kennedy started as the sub. Can they build something here? Curnow gets it. Mackay's got a bit of a mismatch. He's pushed Mason Cox down. They're looking for Cripps. Bobby Hill. Throwing it at both ends, Bobby. Brilliant team play. They have got the answers at the moment, the Magpies.
Howe to side bottom. Collingwood in control by 26 points. What can Carlton do to change the flow of this game? McGovern over the top. But this is their problem now. Haven't been able to get an effective switch going. Early on, they were really aggressive with their ball movement up the middle. Gone a little shy as the Pies have shut them down. Sard, he's looking for an option. Pokes a kick with a hole for Boyd. Now Hewitt. That wasn't the handball to give. He saw McGovern was covered, so he'll go by foot to Walsh. Now to Hollands. Again, they'll look to move the angles. This looks a little better. This has been the tricky bit. Hollands. Martin can get a fly at it. Well done, Quainer. Killed it to the line.
Bobby Hill had a big couple of minutes. Great contest in the forward line. And then on the reverse, getting back to help his defence. He's shown through the week, no doubt.
So the Magpies really reading the cues earlier. They're supporting each other, playing their role. Huge night for the Collingwood Football Club. There he is, Scotty Pendlebury, the 400-gamer.
Mason, Patrick, backing out this way.
He's been effective. The champ, 16 disposals tonight. Cripps muscled his way onto the footy and just said, I'll do it myself. Sheer strength and will. What do you love about the great captains? They just sense they need something special, and he's pumped with that. Sitting alongside one of the all-time great captains, Joel Selwood. It's a bit of a gift, Joel, isn't it? Have someone like that doing what they do.
Well, he just had enough. To be honest, he'd had enough, and he made sure that he was going to just put him on his shoulder again. We've seen it so many times before.
Well, there it is, the smaller man against the bigger man. Cripps just having his way with Mason Cox. A good set play there too. You see Mackay on Pendlebury out of the stoppage. So instead of Harry going in, Cripps said, no, I've got this. And have a look what it means to him. There's the grit. There's the determination of a champion.
Yeah, he knows what's on the line, I reckon, Days. And this is a big moment for the footy club. They've got to start taking steps forward.
Can they get a spark off that? Walsh came flying in. Pitternet. Hewitt. Important clearance here for the Blues. Can he hit a target? Not the best kick for Motlop, but did really well to control it. Motlop will go inside 50.
That's a hold.
And Jack Martin one-on-one, as you mentioned, gentlemen, is a deep forward. Can make you nervous.
Well, they're just looking better. They're looking better with that small forward line on their last line. They're just a little bit quicker, taking those other key forwards, key defenders more out of the play, freeing them out of the way.
And it's Maynard who ended up. So in the strength battle, he's got him, but you can see they're concerned about the speed. Scragging, dagging, giving away a free kick. This becomes a really important kick. You just feel like 2 in a row, the momentum grows across the group. The crowd starts to get involved.
They can score really quickly too, these Blues.
It's been such a long, hard road to 150 games for Jack Martin. It's taken him 10 years to get there. No question of his talent. And back bite the Blues. Scott Pendlebury in game 400. Jack Martin in game 150. And Jack has his moment that brings the Blues back within 14 points.
it was Motlop's work across the half forward. That's what you got to do with the 50-50s across there and give Martin, who's on that last line, is so dangerous. But we go back into the middle here, and it's over to the Blues. They've got to step up. Cripps, Walsh, and Kennedy, the fresh man, coming on.
Back-to-back goals for the Blues couldn't have come at a more important time. The man who started at Cripps to Walsh. Another important win here for the Blues. They exit the clearance. Kennedy deep forward again. Martin wanted a great kick. Favoured Maynard.
But that's what you love to see. All the Blues got their hands on the ball, took it forward, took it really deep. Now they can set it in behind this defence. Hopefully get a repeat entry for the Blues.
Got close to the man on the mark. Suggesting it was touched, but the free kick to Darcy Cameron, who's been really strong tonight for the Magpies.
Yeah, he's been massive, and that's just the release of the pressure again. You work so hard to get 2 goals and start to ask some questions, and then a lazy free kick just relieves all that pressure.
Mason Cox up in front, well-timed spoil from McGovern. Hollands on the bottom of that pack. Gets to his feet, but can't escape. Blues starting to look a little more dangerous around the stoppages. Walsh gets his hands on another, but gives it up to Hill, who slips away from Boyd. Chip goes over the top of Cox. Chincotta a difficult one, but has support. It's Newman. Now McGovern. Boyd needs to be precise. Dangerous one, but it'll work for the Blues. Newman takes the crumb, kicks towards half forward. Martin presents. Umpire says play on. Crisp. Long. Flips it to Dacos. Holland's got a hand in, not effective. Ned Long again. Nice delivery, McStay. Umpire says free kick.
Got to scrap hard here. The Blues have got spare men out the Pies. Bobby Hill in the pocket all alone. Mason Cox as well. Delay of the game there. That'll certainly help.
McStay. Out comes Mason Cox. Kemp at the front, couldn't complete it. Through the legs of Cox. Kemp wrestled to the ground.
Rucked. Mark. Mason here.
Mason Cox didn't want it down, Elliott. Spinning his way through Chincotta. Up to the challenge. It's an important few minutes, Carlton. The last 2 goals of the game, they're going to defend earnestly here. Cox fired it up, clever little knock back to Locke, side bottom. There's some individual brilliance. Bobby, right spot at the right time, becoming a factor. Sleight of hand from Bobby Hill. He loves the MCG, and it's Bobby again. Serious impact, Bobby Hill. Something from nothing there.
Can't sleep on him, Das. Cannot sleep on Bobby Hill.
Just makes you nervous, doesn't he? He's so capable. I feel like the Norm Smith medalist has taken his game to another level.
Well, we know Bobby Hill's so dangerous, but just picks up where the ball's about to land there. Boyd, nothing he could really do, but just the heads-up play here. Point, the umpire comes in, set the mark, turn, blink and you're gone. See you later, blink and you'll miss him. Jordan Boyd still confused as to what's just happened. Looking to see if there's 20 cents behind his ear. There isn't, but there is a goal on the scoreboard.
And a 20-point margin. De Goey. Schultz. Josh Dacos against Elijah Hollands. Crisp. Hurls it. De Goey. Schultz. Handball goes over the head of Josh Dacos. Akers important, gets on the end of it. Motlop outsized, and Howe takes it. Spreads it for Bytel. Skips away and out.
As part of that kick from Akers, you've got Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow forward. Why don't you just take it straight up the middle? Give them a chance. They've been starved at the moment.
Here is Blake Akers, back from a foot injury, missed last week. And the net locks up. Hill and Boyd. 20-point margin as we approach the 8 minutes to play in this third term.
You can see Carlton have really tried to separate this stoppage and where their forwards are ahead of the footy here. If we can get a wide shot, they've disconnected the ground, trying to make it easier and have space to work into.
Kennedy did really well to win a big 50-50 ball. Nicely picked up Ollie Hollins, and that was exceptionally well done to Owies. Contested mark, can they get one? Couldn't quite get access to it. Mackay Moore goes back. Hands it off to Howe. Motlop. Oh, they got him. Incorrect disposal. Fogarty picks it up, and they get another one. Carlton, huge goal. Lockie Fogarty gets his second, and that was brilliant. Forced the turnover. And they keep themselves right in it. It was 13 points at half-time, 14 points right now, and Carlton just kept their nose in it.
Well, Jeremy Howe felt the pressure. It was first Motlop, but the small Carlton forwards got around him. Lockie Fogarty kicking the goal to finish. Just predictable footy days. To be honest, you saw it. They opened up the stoppage, got it in. They knew where the ball was going. They got numbers around it, kept shoveling it forward.
Cameron and Pitternet, Pendlebury and Hewitt, DeGoey and Elijah Hollins. Here's Josh Dacos to Maynard. Spears a kick over the head of McCreary towards the boundary line, and Newman taken over by Ned Long.
So it was a nice little tactical move, trying to drag the forwards back, creating a big pocket of space. And if you do win it, then you can kick it to grass, relying on the fact your forwards are generally in front, can come onto it first to react.
Cameron's had a massive night, and Pendlebury runs onto it. Bends a kick inside 50. To go, he flies.
Realistic attempt. Play the mark. Play the mark. Play the
Saad
mark.
will get it back because it'll be paid the mark.
Sam.
Or not. To Kennedy.
Stand.
This has been the challenge for the Blues.
Yeah, the Pies just setting up so well here. So the challenge is now that Carlton have got to bring their numbers really, within 50 metres of this kick.
Again, they'll go bold. Saad, a little more central. Boyd can get on the end of it, slaps it forward, but it's all Collingwood. Hoskin Elliott spears it back the other way. Beautiful kick. McStay couldn't complete the grab. Got numbers forward. Schultz hacks it out of midair. Desperately getting there is DeGoey, and not quite.
They looked dangerous on the turnover, Collingwood. Just got away with it then, Carlton. Look at that setting. Not a spare seat at the MCG. Beautiful, crystal clear night. 400th game for the great Scott Pendlebury. And the contest not letting it down. Cripps dropped it. McCreary hacked it and missed.
And they're hanging on here, the Blues. The Pies just looking so much more dangerous. The Blues not able to transfer the ball with ease. Just continue to roll. Try and get some speed in your ball movement. See if you can catch that Collingwood defence napping.
Newman, Akers, uncertain of their options. Kemp being corralled. That's a floater of a kick. It might work for Chincotta. Well done, Howe. Got it to ground. Dacos the beneficiary. Back towards 50. Mason Cox sets himself. Support arrives in the form of Wiedering. Schultz tries to spin out of the contacts. Got one in the back. Carlton's delivery hasn't helped themselves coming out of 50. That kick from Kemp, a floater.
Yeah, hasn't helped at all. They had numbers on the way through on the inside. They've got to start playing brave, and it's going to be a little bit unpredictable by doing that, by bringing it across the ground. But they've got to challenge this Collingwood defence at some stage.
Schultz, 21 goals, 17, his first season in black and white. Here's to re-establish a handy 21-point lead. Lockie Schultz is straight as a die. Margin back out to 21 points. The Pies, yet again, have the steadying answer when asked the question.
Well, this view here just gives you a perfect example of to what the Blues didn't have to kick to. So they're trying to make it up, but as this kick goes out, there's only 8 players within a 50-metre radius. If you look to the top of the screen eventually, you'll see that Mackay, Curnow are 75, 80 metres away. That's who you want as a small. When you are stuck in there, you're making it up, you need a bailout option. That's when you rely on your big boys. They weren't there. Also means when Collingwood turn it over, they're going back through limited and diluted numbers, happily and easily available to score.
Jordan to go with a bit of a limp up out of that clearance. Grabbing a hamstring potentially, and he's going to limp off. That didn't look great at all, Joel.
He looks like he's in a bit of trouble there.
I hope it's not as bad as it appeared to be. So developing story there. We'll come back to that with Aaron Phillips in a moment. They win the clearance, Carlton. There, and he's heading your way. We'll have a look at the replay. Picked it up to Goey and then immediately just grabbed at the left hamstring. Initial thoughts down there, Aaron?
Yeah, guys, looks like Lipinski will come on. Not sure he'll come on for just yet, but I'll update you as soon as I know.
And that would be a body blow to the Pies as now got their work cut out. McCreary overran it. Fogarty's been important at times, still allowing it to go. Walsh fighting hard to get it, and it's trapped on forward 50.
Yeah, that looks as bad as it gets with a hammy when you reach for it, but then couldn't put any weight through it. So he's grabbing up high as well, sort of. That's when it comes into the tendon.
He's had those sore groins, so he might not have been doing the training loads that he might need for a game.
Hewitt the clearance. Howe gets back, clears the contest, rolls to the back, and Daisy the 6th rush behind for Carlton tonight.
Yeah, and that's probably indicative. I think we'll go for a score review here. No doubt it was touch, so we'll just plough on and talk over it. The inability for the Blues to get a good contest that goes forward.
Review underway. Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball deviates after making contact with the right hand of the Collingwood defender. Decision on the scoreboard.
So you'd be hoping if it is going to a long, deep spot, that you can get a contest coming from the goal line to bring it forward. It means that a lot of the ball is either going too deep, allowing the Pies to knock it through, or the contest from the bigs just isn't good enough. You can rectify that, pull it to about 25 metres out, change the angle. Yes, it might be more risky rebounding out, but you give yourself more of a chance to score with a 360 crumb.
Hoskin Elliott managed to clean it up and sprints away from half back. This is Lipinski, the sub, and an indication of perhaps what's happened to Jordan De Goey. It was an immediate sub, not even required to do any sort of testing. So Lipinski down the line, Wiedering dropped the mark. Got some numbers back there. Hewitt to Newman.
Stand.
Losing it on three-quarter time. That will work to Cripps. We'll try and pierce it through to Fogarty. Howe came with a big fist. It landed for Owie. Short one's good to Curnow. Charlie Curnow searching for his first goal.
Great contest by Fogarty down here. Held his ground, knew that the pressure was coming from Howe.
Nick Dacos.
Kicked the goal in each of his last 66 games, Charlie Curnow. Back-to-back Coleman medal winner. Had an extraordinary run as the premier key forward in the game steps up to the plate. Can't meet him, and he's nicked the post to the thinnest of margins.
There's the hamstring injury by the looks to Jordan De Goey.
It's a good call too, Sal. When you are battling with groins, you try and take power from other areas. You don't have the ability to have the loads throughout the week to maintain what it is to be an explosive player.
Elliott slaps it over the top, and Saab reads it, gets back to cover. Hoists it high inside 50. Motlop the flyer, gets to the front. Josh Dacos clean. Handball, sold his man under pressure. Pendlebury nowhere to go. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the quarter.
Here we go.
And the Blues manufacture something from this stoppage. Cripps will go in the ruck. Cameron, the backhander. Walsh tries to feed it forward.
Blues have got a nice little setup here. Saad, Holland's just off the back of this stoppage.
And it's Cripps. Well done, Cameron. Cripps smothers it off his boot, but it's going to work for Pendlebury. Pokes the kick wide. Hill's in space. He'll look up. He's only got Jordan Boyd down the line, so he'll run. Dacos will try to create the overlap. Saad will try to run him down. Saad closes, but Bobby releases to the pocket. Great chase from Adam Saad, affected the kick.
Yeah, great effort. Individual effort. Looked like Bobby Hill was out. I know if that had been me, Joel, I might have been looking for an easier option to maybe slip over.
Yeah, he had Nick Dacos on the way back through too. If they could just link up, maybe two of the most dangerous blokes on the field taking inside 50. Could have come in from a different angle.
Mitch McGovern pierces a little corridor kick looking for Kennedy. Did well to fight on and win it back. The handle a little too high. Saad's now got to work hard. Puts them under pressure. Akers wants the boundary line. Lipinski and Bobby Hill involved.
Count it out. Watch at the front, Larry. Darcy, Carlton Rock. Carlton Rock. Matthew.
And Kennedy's going to take a turn in the ruck. Paddy Cripps. Happy to let him do it. Cameron predictably wins it back and they'll get another boundary thrown in almost the identical spot.
So if you're Carlton here, you have to defend for your life. You cannot give up another one. 19 points go in at three-quarter time. Clearly outplayed for the better part of 2.5 quarters. 19 points. He's so gettable with the way they can move the ball, the way they can score.
Defending stoppage has been their biggest weakness in the last month. Cameron wins that one. High kick, dangerous spot. Holland's back, not quite. Cox, clever through the legs. McStay. Hollands is back in support. Can he find a mark? 2-on-2. Off the hands of Frampton. Side bottom comes through. Dacos toe pokes it. Hill's been everywhere. And Hoskin Elliott can land a body blow in the final minute of the third term.
Well, maybe 6 of Bobby Hill's touches have been really important. He's put one out on the full just recently, but he's been the game changer in this game.
And again, we see the Blues give up a scoring opportunity from a stoppage in their own D50, Daisy.
That was a concern.
Hoskin Elliott to make them pay, and he does. Collingwood by 25 points. A lot of space, goal side. The Pies took advantage. Will Hoskin Elliott's kicked 2 goals, 1 in the third term.
Well, this third quarter's been huge for the Pies, and it's this man, Bobby Hill, that's just taken over. We've seen him do it on the attack, on the defence, getting it over to Hoskin Elliott to put it on the board. Pies up by 25. They'll look to lock this quarter down. They're the best at it.
Bobby Hill, 4 score involvements this quarter. As Joel Selwood said, he's ignited the Magpies. Here's Pendlebury going 400. The superstar to Cox. McGovern did well. 12 seconds and counting. They've got to hang on here, the Blues. Boyd's kick. Scrub it back off the boot of Walsh. Saad, boundary line. And able to hang on. That was a sorry-looking sight. Jordan De Goey, serious-looking hamstring injury to deal with. A little nod of the head. We'll deal with that story in more detail as the Blues got 5 seconds to not give up another score here. It's Hollands who does well, clearing kick, three-quarter time siren. A 13-point half-time lead has been extended to 25 points here at three-quarter time. At the MCG Saturday night footy, Scott Pendlebury's 400th game, and they have a very handy lead.
Sleep on a boy, you can fall asleep twice in the same night and won't hesitate.
All right, there we are. Three-quarter time, folks. Three-quarter time. And it's the Magpies doing it well. 11-9-75 leading the Blues. 6-14-50. Of course, the Pies, they put on 5 goals, 3 in that third term to Carlton's 3 goals, 3. Another great effort. Both teams did well getting their scoring up. The Blues just... Tell you what, they're under some fierce pressure, but when they go in, they still look good going into their forward 50 when they get the opportunity. It's just that they're just not getting the goals. And Charlie Curnow's looked like it was going to go through, but it hit the post on the way through. But the Pies are just strong at the moment, and of course Bobby Hill lit up the MCG in that third quarter. He was everywhere, and he has come alive in this third quarter. All right, let's go and see. Let's see if that's updated. There we go. Let's have a look at the players' stats now for the third term. Let's see who's the leading possession getter, and it's Nick Newman and George Hewitt there for the Blues with 24. Nick Dacos is the leading possession getter at 22. Paddy Cripps on 22, Walsh 20. Scotty Pendlebury, the man of the moment, he's on 20. Let's run down a little bit more because we've only got a few minutes before the bounce of the ball to the final quarter of this incredible match, incredible evening of football between Collingwood and Carlton. Joshy Dacos on 19, Hollands 18, Adam Sard lifted up there into 16. Will Hoskinelli is doing great, 16, he's kicked 2-2. We'll just run down the board. Jordan Degoe there, subbed out, and Lipinski come on for the Pies. Degoe off, looks like he might have rejigged his hamstring there in the middle of the ground. As soon as he tweaked it, he grabbed it, couldn't put any weight on it, so doesn't look good news for Jordan Degoe. So we keep going down. Still side bottom, he's had a quiet match, although he had one score involvement there with Bobby Hill in that quarter. Let's keep going down. Matthew Kennedy, 8, Cottrell. Wiedering, still a quiet game just with a 7. Harry Mackay, a quiet game. The two big forwards up there for the Blues, Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow. Well, they've only had 14 possessions between them and only kicked 1 goal, 3 between them. So the Blues need them to lift in the last quarter if they're going to have any chance. But their smalls do look good. That's the one thing I've actually found when watching the Blue Baggers is that sometimes it's a little bit difficult when they got the two down there together. Last week the Blues did a lot better when it was just Charlie Curnow down there. He had the run of the ball. He was the main target and he did well. Sometimes they seem to struggle when Mackay and Curnow are in the team. Why can we watch this free on TV but not on 7 website? Yeah, I don't know. There we go. Don't know. It's all copyright stuff. So, yeah, I mean, unless I'm live at the game, then I can't show the vision. But, you know, we're still lucky enough we can get the commentators' live thoughts as the game goes on. So we're still lucky there. I know. It would be good. You know, MOX, I did try that once before to show the vision and the stream got shut down because I showed the vision. And I only showed the vision for about 30 seconds. So they're pretty quick on it. But there we go. The Pies go into the final quarter on this memorable evening where Carlton need to win. Actually, let's have a little bit of a gander at this is the live ladder, folks. This is the live ladder at present. Collingwood win. They go from 40 to 44. They'll only be a game outside of the top 8. So that is looking very good. With 3 weeks to go, they've definitely got 3 winnable games coming up for them. Of course, Carlton will drop down to 8th, and they're in serious issues of being on that borderline again, whether they'll make the finals. I mean, they're a good enough team. They should be there, but Hawthorn are really on fire at the moment. And of course, in the other game that's happening at the moment, Port Adelaide and the Swans, well, you'd have to see it to believe it. Port Adelaide, at 3/4 time, a 17 goals 9, 111 to the Sydney Swans, 3 goals 4, 22. So that's going to be a very, very easy win there for Port Adelaide, and that means they are going to jump into second position after tonight. And then we'll wait for the results for tomorrow when Brisbane and Fremantle play tomorrow. We'll see what happens there. That is, you're spot on. That is crazy. The Port Adelaide-Sydney scoreboard there. All right, let's go back. We'll go back to the commentators now while there's about 20 seconds left to go. They'll have their final comments before the bounce of the ball, the final quarter here between Collingwood and Carlton.
Open side is really dangerous, and it has exposed Carlton's lack of spread, I think. I think it got shown up last week. Look at the midfielders there. Obviously, they don't need a big performance this quarter, 17-8 the inside 50s, but the ability for Collingwood to go to one end of the ground to the other has been outstanding tonight. I'm concerned about their spread. Just being here, watching it live, Gaz, that's a real problem. Defensive half, their ability to go from one end to the other is not there.
Three goals from Collingwood, all from kick-ins. Yeah. So this is the challenge. If
Usually
they can't,
it's a goal a game.
Yeah, if they can't win that clearance battle and they can't transition from back half, where are their goals going to come from?
Haven't looked dangerous at all. 9 inside 50s for the quarter. It was laborious at times. I'll tell you what's going to happen here. The shackles are going to be taken off by Carlton. They're just going to go helter-skelter. And let's see whether they can just generate a little bit of momentum and a bit of enthusiasm. As Collingwood have been absolutely superb. Take a 25-point margin into the last quarter. The premiership defence is on in earnest.
Kidnet and Cameron. There's Pendlebury. Play on the call. Hewitt. Tackled by Dacos. Affected the kick by Tell to Crisp. Wide on the lead. Beautiful kick. Absolutely perfect. And Will Hoskin-Elliott takes it in front of his eyes.
And if you're a Collingwood supporter, that's exactly what you want to see. Race the first one out of the centre, get a mark inside 50.
And there's been a difference maker in the third term. Daisy kicked 2 goals, 1. It can be such a difficult matchup.
Those hands are as sticky as you'll get to on a night where we've seen double grabs from some of the bigger names. Chance for Will to go back and kick his third.
For the perfect start. Just tug that one left.
Holding Collingwood.
Ouch.
Mason Cox effect. You know, we've spoken about it all night. Just the challenge of the years for those guys down there.
Play on.
He runs around, gives it to Bobby Hill. He misses near side, and the Blues dodge a bullet.
That is a real missed opportunity.
He's got the bug, Bobby, though, doesn't he?
He's got an appetite for it at the minute.
Saad tried to just buy a little bit of space. He sold himself. And Mitch McGovern in some pressure. And the Pies right up and about.
Don't you love that defence? Force them right into the pocket, encourage them to take the next handball, and then when you get the hands that goes over the top a little bit higher, come up on them and just smash them.
So important to execute your tackles there. One missed tackle means that the next player in the chain doesn't have that time to come forward.
Just feel the pressure building. Blues have got to dial up their risk appetite, you sense. Crisp, 234th consecutive game. Incredible record. McCreary, centering kick. Can they get a Hoskin-Elliott mark again? Committed himself. Kemp Bobby's going to be dangerous. Spinning out was Hoskin-Elliott. And a boundary's thrown, but again, they're having to defend with everything they've got as Jordan DeGoey looks on.
We've seen McRae speak on emotion on so many times. There's no doubt that Scott Pendlebury would have been mentioned at three-quarter time and the occasion that this is tonight.
9 combined scoring shots for Hoskin-Elliott and Hill. Pendlebury spins out, gets the hands free, gets it to Elliott, who snaps a goal! Collingwood get the first and the last, and that lead is 32 points.
Just a great read off the stoppage, but what I love is putting your best midfielders in there at that stoppage too. Sometimes you can sit them out, let them just rest, put Scott Pendlebury in there, do the work. Jamie Allen reads it so well off him as an A1 attacking decision, kicks a goal.
Getting critical for Carlton. Here's Pendlebury gliding out of the centre of the MCG. How many times have we seen that? Standing in the way, McGovern. That kick is the one that you feel they need more of to Walsh. Got to get it rolling. Sends it out wide. Ollie Hollands cuts back inboard. Trying to find Owies, who did it pretty well, but well done side bottom. Noble puts it back into the path of Hewitt. Chincotta just have to kick the next goal here, Carlton. Can they get a contested mark? Curnow launched. Front and centre Owies gets it out. Elijah Hollands has been dangerous. Decides that banana is the option and nails it. Couple of goals for Elijah Hollands, one of the very best. There is some talent in that man on the screen. They needed something urgently. Elijah Hollands is your man.
Well, it becomes a special finish from a player who's got an abundance of talent. The inside-out check side, that is as good as it gets. But the belief in which this sells, it wasn't the perfect play, but they tried to take the game on. If that gets turned over, there's a chance you may go into your shell second guess. The fact that it went end to end, the Blues start to continue to believe.
And they get some stoppage dominance. Here comes Cripps. At 50 for the Blues. Ricochets off Maynard and Owies. Side bottom was important. Crisp was clean. Here's Dacos. Maynard. Pies have been so damaging off halfback tonight. Well done, Sard. Got a fist in. Dacos keeps it alive to Hill. He works it to Elliott. Back to Dacos. Kick inside 50. Lipinski sets himself. Newman retreats with composure to Akers. Sets Mackay a task, has to work hard. Does he get a bounce? He does not.
You can see even there, though, the want to bring it the open side. Can expect to see a lot more of that. The Blues are going to eat into this deficit. That's what they've got to do. Continue to make Collingwood defend the full width and length of the ground.
Short boundary throw in, bounces in front of both ruckmen, but chance for Kennedy. Didn't see McCreary coming. He's a specialist at that. Creeps up on opponents, applies the vice, and not many get through it.
He's been awesome. A welcome addition back in the side. Just the little things that matter.
Into the pocket. Hoskin Elliott over the top, McGovern, and there's some kicks that were available to change of direction. They're going to head a bit more corridor. Martin. Now it opens up a little bit here for the Blues from halfback. Martin put it into the path of Curnow. Quainer works hard to get there. Charlie at the front. Quainer at the back. Shrugs one, shrugs two, pumps a handball to Kennedy. He's immediately confronted, throws his boot at it. This will work for the Blues. Walsh, Curnow almost within range. Thought of his options, goes to Hollands, bounces past him and tidied up by side bottom. Elliott's got a couple to beat here. Bounce will work for him. Numbers will win for the Blues. Sard brings it inside and finds Walsh. Walsh towards half forward. Nice kick to Hollands. Maybe just outside his range. Goes short. Well read Maynard.
Was able to get cut off because they had a great spread around. Maynard reads the play, comes off his man, sticks himself in front of Harry Mackay.
Just see that bold play and the corridor movement is creating some space for Carlton. I'd love to get the next goal here, the Blues surging onto it. Mackay wraps up Frampton and apply a little bit more pressure here, Carlton.
And that's what you've got to continue to do. Continue to ask questions. Can you defend for long enough here, Collingwood? Don't get lazy. Don't give away a free.
Pitnet won it down. Kennedy, Elijah Hollands, Bobby Hill getting back. Did well, Chincotta surges it back to Sard. Hasn't got a lot of time. The mark will be paid if someone's good enough. Bounced off the head of Frampton. Cripps from the pocket, hit the post. Just feel like they're coming.
can certainly feel that momentum starting to shift here, so...
Yeah, you can. They actually look better behind the ball too when they've been more attacking. So, yeah, the defence is intact. Now it's just about keeping the foot down.
Collingwood have been impressive from kick-in tonight. Can the Blues hold them up? Moore goes long to a contest, and Wiedering reads it. Snuck around the side and took the grab. Thought about the lateral kick inside to Kennedy. Can see him just inside the centre square there. Instead he goes to Newman. Kennedy still there. Newman to Boyd. Leading space to the left pocket. Boyd winds up. Howe floats. Martin. Akers, nice pickup. Shrugs one. Kennedy nowhere to go. Well done, Crisp. Bytel laid it down for Maynard. Is that a throw? Play on the call. Walsh. Cripps. Kennedy. Akers. Fogarty. Oh, he pulls the trigger and nails it. Margin back to 19 points. As Charlie Curnow limps to the bench. The Blues already down a man. Without Chera and Cottrell. And now Curnow to the bench.
See Charlie Curnow here. He went down as a result of the end of this play. The Blues are able to score a goal. Aaron, Charlie's made his way off just in front of you.
Yeah, it looks like obviously in that replay, that ankle, he came off in a lot of pain, so hopefully not too serious because Carlton have the momentum right now. They need him back on.
Just appeared to roll that ankle in the inward direction.
Carlton!
So a bit of pain, but check in with Aaron. Let's hope we can get back out there because they are surging big time here. Mason Cox gets back. The fist didn't clear the zone. Hollands. This is Elijah. Back to Newman. Can they get a Mackay mark? Frampton manhandled Harry. Jack Martin, you can see at the back screaming for the longer ball, and that is a big one-on-one win for Billy Frampton.
It certainly is. You just see the Collingwood players around him there waving to calm it down. I'm not sure that's the exact message you want to be sending. Still have to get territory at some point. 13 minutes on the clock is an absolute eternity. You don't want to completely shut up shop and just invite the opposition to dominate territory because as a result, Joel, they'll get looks on goal.
Yeah, I think they just understand at the moment everything's against them, so they just need to just bide a little bit of time. It's hear about Collingwood playing the seconds. Well, that's what it's all about.
Header networks to the front on Mason Cox, but the ball spills to Pendlebury. Pops a handball, look out. Lipinski sandwich, they pile in, Aaron Phillips.
Charlie Curnow's gone down, obviously down on into the medico room. Maybe a re-strap of that ankle, maybe some pain medication, boys.
Net throws a boot at it. Cripps being held. The skipper once again trying to put his team on his back. Kennedy getting more involved. Can he find a target inside 50? Martin works on Maynard. Off the back of that contest. Motlop wanted to give. Well done, Moore. Bytel spins out of a tackle. Ball ricochets. Newman comes through, lays a tackle on Schultz. Gets through the first. Bytel, Pendlebury, nowhere to go. Throws it on the boot.
Just again, that evidence of Scotty Pendlebury being able to pause time, but the kick's been marked by Wiedering, called to play on. Got to dump the kick down the line. Mackay sets himself in front. Pendlebury brilliant again. Picked up by Hewitt. Clever little kick forward. Just the required distance from Jeremy Howe. Safe pair of hands. As I said a moment ago, Dave, it feels like Pies in response have really just become predictable, and a lot of this long down the line. Wiedering's going to pick it up again. He's had a remarkable year. That's a brave kick. Opens up the corridor. Akers, can they get a score from this? Not a great kick. Darcy Moore. Oh, brilliant. Jack Martin had no right to mark it. short kick is on, and that is massive. Big contested mark, and now Owies a chance to go back-to-back goals, and Carlton right back in it.
Well, it was the Jacob Wiedering change of direction that changed the whole look of that play. We've seen him take intercept marks, but then have to be forced to go straight back in, just taking on the dangerous kick. Well done, Jack Martin. That is a big contested mark against a bigger player. Now Matty Owies, wait for the celebration if he kicks this.
Picked up as a rookie back in 2019. This may be the biggest moment of his 69-game career, Matt Owies. And there's Jeremy Howe.
You jinxed him, Daisy.
Very
absolutely
tentative,
jinxed him.
Very tentative kick.
Crisp versus Walsh. Vitale flips it to Schultz. Now Noble. High towards the wing. McGovern works to the front on Elliott and gets a free kick.
Carlton with the last 8 inside 50s, but they just look like they're playing a lot looser now. They look like they're willing just to play that live ball really well.
McGovern, another high ball inside 50. Cox worked out of it by Pitternet. Wainer immediately tackled by Hewitt.
So although they are dominating the territory without eating into the score, you're also just knocking off minutes on the clock too. Need to find a way to hit the scoreboard here, the Blues. Otherwise, all this hard work results in nothing.
Elliott was held. So now the Blues have to push back and defend from Collingwood's half-back line.
Stand.
Vitale. Noble works hard to offer a short option.
Play on. Good.
Looks pretty smart. Newman was caught between two players. Pushed forward to cover. And kicked it over his head to Lockie Schultz, who earned a free kick.
Don't hold.
Inside 10 minutes. McStay, great hands.
Stand, Mitch. Stand.
Dangerous time here for the Blues defence. McStay can go short. A huge moment here for Jack Vitale. The former Saint played 22 games in 4 seasons, was delisted, went to Collingwood over the summer as a train-on, got picked up as an SSP player, and now in his 5th game for Collingwood has a chance to kick his first goal in the black and white.
Well, regardless, he should be taking that full 30. 7 seconds to go.
Move it on.
1-6 so far combined AFL VFL this season. What a moment for him.
Play on.
Hangs it way right.
In the weirdest possible way, that might be a result. At least now you only have to defend this side of the ground. If you give the ball back in a kick-in situation, you can attack 360.
Smart kick from Newman. Happy to take that one. Back out this outer wing side. Maynard. Determination, read it beautifully.
We've seen that all night, Das. That back line just making sure that they're pushing up, getting across the ground, and they'll just worry about those off-ball players coming around to look after their player.
Aaron Phillips, have just seen Charlie Curnow re-emerge.
Yeah, it looks like obviously he'll go through some warm-up and hopefully he'll be out there, but he looks good at the moment, doing some change of direction, guys.
Played off for 7 minutes there, and they'd love to get him back out there, the Blues. Oh, Hewitt got rolled in the tackle, and no prior opportunity. Looks like Charlie preparing to come back out. There's still plenty of time.
Just over 8 minutes. Blues need at least 3 goals. Schultz slaps it on. Out comes McStay. Crisp. Wiedering taken down by Schultz. Play on. Crisp. Dangerous spot. Hoskin Elliott's been everywhere. Kemp. Rush behind.
They're out.
3 straight kicks.
Huge
Sorry,
effort
20
there.
points.
Huge effort there from Kemp on the last line. Hoskin Elliott did a really good job knocking it to his advantage.
So Scotty Pendlebury guarding the centre corridor, making sure they had to go wide. He's directing traffic out there, the 400-game legend, as always. They come back through the corridor. Numbers charging. Hewitt. Got to get it moving. He's got the short option here in Kennedy.
2 metres. Thank you. Stand.
Can they slice their way through? Kennedy decides to pull the trigger out wide. Shane Warne stands side. Brody Kemp over that run provided by Walsh. They're going to get it inside 50. Can they get a contested mark? Mackay and Frampton. Motlop decides to puck it into the goal square to Martin. Brilliant play. 2 metres out directly in front. Jack Martin will go. And we're back to 14 points. Game on. Jack Martin's got a couple. Charlie Curnow gets ready to come back on. It's an occasion that deserves a game like this. Nervous moments coming up.
Well, the build-up to the Blues, you thought they may have gone too wide, but you love the overlap run by Sam Walsh. And here, Motlop, I reckon the Collingwood defenders would want their time again, get that over the boundary line. Finds Jack Martin in the square. Paddy Cripps had his last break. He's back out on the ground. Charlie Curnow back out there too.
Just under 7 minutes. Hewitt. Cripps pops a handball. Here's Kemp storming along the wing. Driving it inside 50. Mackay, not quite. Frampton. Dacos backpedaling. Pops a handball. It's cut off by Hollins. Great tackle, Jack Crisp.
The Collingwood tackling has been a highlight, but you can see the scoreboard's energised the Blues here. Starting to get on top there, contested possession, winning the crucial ball.
Kennedy to Walsh. Martin at the front. Akers bounces through. Eight-point game. Still over 6 minutes to play. And once again, the Blues come storming home.
The last 2 goals, something out of nothing. Just right spot, right time. Blues fans would love the addition of Akers to their football club. He's done that so many times. No doubt if Vitale had his time again, close the distance, have to defend first. It was only a metre. But in these crucial stages, a metre is more than enough.
Saw Blake Akers with a couple of enormous moments in the final series last year. Not long ago, the Magpies with 32 points up in this quarter, back to 8 points. Huge centre clearance coming up. The Jack Cripps wheels his way onto it. Floats into half forward. Martin, awkward foot into trap. How off the ground? Oh, Cripps. Inspirational effort.
Thanks, boys. Thanks, Ed. Time, mate.
Superb tackling. And they trap it at centre half forward. Kennedy. Picked up nicely, Hewitt. Ollie Horns to make it 5 unanswered goals. You can't believe what you're seeing. Extraordinary scenes of the MCG. That picture tells the story. Carlton fans cannot comprehend what's going on. 5 unanswered goals, and we're back to 2 points.
Again, Darcy, it was from the stoppage, just the clean hands from the Carlton game. And then Ollie Hollins gets his moment, makes sure he finishes it. Great hands by George Hewitt.
Paddy Cripps has been absolutely enormous. The clearance, he was the one that pushed up, got the tackle, which meant the stoppage ensued. And from there, you can get to work. You're starting to believe the Blues here. You can see it in their faces. The energy around the ground's lifted now. The question's being asked of the Pies. What have you got?
And what do they do here, Joel? Collingwood.
Well, they've got to find a way, make it really predictable for their guys underneath. So hit it out their side to Nick Dacos. Scott Pendlebury's on the right side of his man.
Blues have had the stoppage dominance, and here it goes again. Cripps to Walsh, paddles it on. Walsh again on the bottom of that. slaps it out, keeps it moving. Long, immediately tackled. The Blues surging it forward.
I reckon if I was Scott Pendlebury right now, I'd be thinking about getting to Paddy Cripps' body because that's his fourth clearance of the quarter.
Pitternet. Cripps hunting it again. Well done, Noble. Important ball to win. Akers gets it. Tries to flip it. Noble again. Kemp stands underneath it. Reads it well. Takes up an important mark.
Stand.
A massive play is inside 50.
End zone.
Howe over the top. Akers set up for the crump. Pops the handball. Oh, he can't keep it alive. It's out of bounds.
Call. Good call from the umpire who had his back to it. In the forward pocket there. And a nice look at that from this vantage point. It was clearly out of bounds. Well done, body view screen there.
A late call it was. Cameron and Pitternet. Kennedy came charging through. What about Paddy Cripps? And they get another look deep inside forward 50 here, Carlton.
It's the momentum through the stoppage. It's looked dangerous here. Akers again off the back.
Hoskin Elliott over the head of Newman. Mitch McGovern want to keep it alive. Boundary line is looming. And we get a chance to press pause. Carlton have kicked the last 5 goals of the game. Scott Pendlebury's 400th match. The pensive Michael Voss looks on. You can't write a script for a better finish than this.
Cripps, Walsh and Kennedy all with 8 touches in the final term. There's Walsh. There's Hewitt. Kerno against Moore. Moore the punch. Big one to win here. Chance for the Pies. Schultz kicks. Chincotta slips. Hill. Wiedering will try to work back. Elliott doesn't get the bounce, but he may get the turn. Jamie's done it before. He's at the Grim Reaper. Across the face.
It's a fair rush of blood from an experienced player. Just to nub it in front of yourself, try and will it forward. Obviously the goal on offer with the miracle is one thing, but any sort of tackle pressure territory, hold the ball up.
What about the tension around the MCG? Darcy Moore wanted the boundary line. Quainer is going to see it over. Newman maybe a bit of cramp. He's a little bit sore.
Hold up, Damien. Hold.
Yeah, got a bit of everything there. Darcy Moore with the full body spoil.
Darcy.
How massive are these boundary throw-ins and stoppages? Pendlebury directing traffic, telling Nick Dacos where to stand. He came crashing through the 400 gamer. Chris trying to get his body through it. And it's held up again. True centre wing. Shane Warne stands side of the MCG.
Collingwood by 3 points inside 4 minutes. There's Newman. He's still sore. Kennedy, straight lines have been huge in the last turn. Wins the football over the head of Mackay. Martin slaps it on. Oh, he runs over it. Frampton to Moore. Crowd at fever pitch. Pendlebury. Push. Pitternet.
Bobby Hill was the infringer there.
Pitternet to 50. Out comes Harry. Mackay takes it in the hands. He's got Akers one out in the square against Hoskin Elliott. Collingwood defenders get back in number now at the top of the square. Mackay. Does he wind up? No, he sets up. Akers gets up. Crisp. Dangerous. Fumble from Kemp. Then he lays the tackle. Sets up a stoppage. 40 from goal. Inside 3 minutes.
Pitting it over the top. Cripps has been enormous. Is it a push? No. Pendlebury. Every moment here crucial. Right into the ground if you're a Carlton supporter. Can they manufacture a goal? Keep your eye on Paddy Cripps diving in. Chris can't afford to trap it in. Hoskin Elliott's kick. Dacos handled clever. Into the path of Schultz. Down the line, McGovern went at it full-chested. Ollie Hollands picks it up to half forward. Hughes pack forms. How brilliant. The defensive spoil and Noble. Chris, a little fumble, and then gone. Lucky Fogarty. Massive moment.
And now a massive kick. Sets it up again. Huge pack. Gets over the back, but Hoskin Elliott's there in coverage. Off to side bottom. All he has is Hill 2-on-1 against Chincotta. Can use the number. Bobby will take the line and get it there.
Huge result. That is a 2v1. Chincotta had him for size. Just did enough. Stoppages though, the Blues have looked dangerous in the last couple of minutes here. It's all the momentum. Walsh, Cripps.
The MCG rocking in this final term. Brilliant from the Blues, this fight back, but they're still 1 goal short.
Pendlebury's gone behind the ball here. Darcy Moore trying to set him up.
Well on Cameron, smothered off his boot by Cripps. Lipinski versus Newman. Now Wiedering involved. Brings it inside to Walsh. Now Saad. Change of direction. McGovern. Is this the moment for the Blues? They've got 90 seconds to move it. He finds Newman at half-back.
Saw Walsh in the corridor. Instead goes down the line. They've got a mark. It's going to be paid to Hewitts. Free kick or mark. Here's their moment. Minute 15 and counting. Can they spoil the 400-game party of Pendlebury? They're going to go inside 50. Akers has gone hard at it. Off the chest. But Martin picked up by Pendlebury, the champ, with all the composure and skill we've seen for 400 games. Out to Dacos. And he puts it out of bounds. No, it stays into Elliott. Who lets it go out. Clock ticks down to 51 seconds. 3-point ball game. Extraordinary.
Great pictures are there of Bruce Scott's dad. Very, very nervous at the moment.
The Blues have one clean takeaway in them. Or can the Pies shut this down? Cripps. Martin in the middle of that. Howe with the fist. Mackay tried to crumb. Of course, it's Pendlebury. To his old mate side bottom. Quaynor. Back to Pendlebury. Composure from the Pies. Dacos. Tackled to the line by Cripps. 30 seconds to play.
Lots of numbers around this stoppage from the Blues. You're trying to dilute it. Pitnet, you'd be demanding him try and hit it over the back. Try and get runners through. If you're the Pies, you're locking it down. You want mass bodies around the footy.
Pitnet out of the ruck. Quick kick to 50. McGovern! He's done it before, but he was an Adelaide pro. Went back and kicked a goal after the siren to beat Collingwood.
Well, this will be after the bell as well. 5 seconds on the clock.
Mitch McGovern. With the game on his boot. Maybe the top 4 on his boot. Maybe Collingwood's season on his boot. Champion and keep their back-to-back dreams alive. Collingwood 12-12-84, defeat Carlton 11-15-81. Side by side they stick together. See the perfect versus
A fitting result in the end. Scott Pendlebury, sixth player in the history of our great game to play 400 games, and what a moment it is. One of the greatest ever, and the fireworks, they're being launched at the MCG, and it was a fitting occasion. You couldn't have scripted a better game. Mitch McGovern had his moment, but you'd be hard-pressed to deny Scott Pendlebury's celebration tonight.
The Blues were brave in the final turn. They came storming back. They kicked 5 goals to 1 as we head to Eric.
It is unbelievably loud down here. Jeremy, you just looked at me and you said, wow, what a game.
It's incredible. It's like the rivalry's always there with us too, but especially the last few years, the games, the epic close finishes. And to be honest, I was quite worried if anyone was going to knock it over. I thought it could have been Mitch, so we'll take it. Hell of a game when we, and to be honest, to be able to get a win for Pendles, that's the cream on top.
And a massive game, obviously, for a great mate of yours. How much has he meant to you and this football club?
Yeah, he's enormous. I can't speak higher of him. You always get half emotional talking about him. He leads so well. He cares about everyone. Can't help but smile when you're around him, and to get the win for him. He's got a pretty good run with milestones, but this one's really important, so look forward to cheering him on.
How much did this milestone pump you guys up to get this win for him?
Yeah, it's not hard to be motivated to play this great game, but when you've got a champion of the game playing his 400th, the least we could do is try and just emulate a little bit of what he does, and that's do your job. So all the boys were incredible tonight. We had enough guys do their job, and that gets you the result.
Well done. Go celebrate with him now.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Das in such a tight season. Moments like that last one, Mitch McGovern. Collingwood keep their season alive, and the Blues now fighting for their season in the next few weeks.
Not surprisingly, Scotty Pendlebury at the end was the key player at half-back. He had 3 or 4 key possessions, 27 disposals for the game, and Paddy Cripps nearly single-handedly wheeled them over the line. Stakes are huge. Let's get back down to ground level. Abby Hodge.
Scotty Pendlebury, the boys rallied. They got it done for you tonight. The boy from Sale, now an AFL 400 gamer. How does that sit with you?
It's a bit surreal, to be honest. This whole week has just been, I've felt the love from all angles. Everybody's been so nice and kind with their messages to me and my family, and it means the world to play with this jumper on my back every week and in front of these fans. It's surreal.
It's a pretty exclusive club, just the 6th player in the history of this great game to the milestone. What's the secret behind this level of longevity?
I'm not sure. A lot of luck goes my way. I've had some great coaches, great support networks around me. You don't get here by yourself, and the amount of people that have helped me, taken time out of their lives to make my journey really special. I've touched base with a lot of those people. A lot of those people are here tonight. The whole football club. I've got a basketball background, if people didn't know, and a lot of those coaches have really helped me out.
To the Collingwood Football Club, you're home for the last 19 years. 2 premierships, a Norm Smith medal, 6 All-Australian Blazers, 5 Copelands, just to list off a few. But how much does this place mean to you?
Oh, it's my home. I've spent 19 years here. It's all I know, really, that in school. And, listen to this joint now. This is, every kid's dream is to play in front of this crowd. And this chant is just unbelievable. And I think what keeps me going is I've just had so much fun, and I still have fun. I still love the game. And to get the result tonight was fantastic.
You're a wonderful family, man. You ran out with Jax through the banner. Darcy didn't quite get there, but Alex, your mum, your dad, your brothers, how crucial has that support been for you as well?
Oh yeah, Alex and the kids have been amazing for me. My mum and dad, my brothers, everyone's just helped me so much along my journey, and it's players from both sides would understand how much their family and support networks mean, and they've been absolutely unbelievable. And I don't know if they got it on camera, but Jack's run through to kick a goal and booted Crispy straight in the head with a footy pre-game, so it wasn't ideal for Crispy.
And just quickly before we let you go, the boys are ready to cheer you off, but you signed on. Next year, your 20th season, have you got Boomer Harvey's record in sight?
I've got tomorrow in sight and trying to wake up not feeling like I've been hit by a truck and just enjoying it for what it is. And tonight was a really important game in our season, keeps us alive. And as I said, I'm not worried about next year, I'm worried about next week, and most importantly, waking up feeling okay tomorrow.
Soak it up. We've loved watching your journey. A very big congratulations to you.
Welcome back to Super Sunday on Fox, brought to you by Kia Sereno. We might just take a moment here. One of the more extraordinary games that you'll bear witness to, and to be here was a pleasure and a privilege. And to watch Collingwood hold on with a kick after the siren to celebrate that man's 400th game. It'll be a game you remember for a long, long time. So not too many people have left. This is one of the moments of the 2024 season right now. We go back and reflect on this game. Not too many people are going to remember. Mitch McGovern's had the kick after the siren to give Carlton an unlikely victory, having kicked the last 5 goals of the game. Let's just soak this up for the moment. Two of his great mates still slide bottom, Jeremy Howe. Carlton paying tribute. This massive crowd of 86,879. There's a few that have left, but not too many. And
amazing it was against the old enemy as well.
All of those elements, Brownie, make it a day that we'll never forget. There's Darcy and Jax. The kids have paid tribute to their dad as well, and Alex and the rest of the family. So it's not one that Pendlebury will forget.
I wouldn't have thought so.
He had moments in that last minute too.
He did, yeah. He was critical. He got a couple of important touches. He went behind the ball about 50 metres behind that stoppage. He was really good, and aren't they memorable, the milestones? Obviously at 400 it's very unique, but to actually win it and sing the song with your teammates, Jack.
Yeah, it's an important one. I remember we won my 300th, and just there's so much build up to the week. I think there'd be an element of he'd be wrapped that it's over. Like, it's all that sort of the spotlight that's been on him for game 400. Clearly a big game for him. This is a massive game for Collingwood in the season and what that's shaping up to be, but just as in the club's culture and history, it's a big game.
We'll get to that in a moment, what it means for their season, because it's very much alive. There was so much to love about it, but Geordie, the gods were willing that McGovern, I know Carlton fans won't love it, but all of this would have been a little bit different if the McGovern goal had flown through.
But even the Carlton fight back makes this victory, I think, even more special. They had to be strong defending, 24 inside 50s in that final turn. They stood up. They all had their moments, but these are the moments you cherish, and he's lucky enough to have kids to enjoy this with. And it becomes bigger than the game. It becomes bigger than yourself when you can walk in, sing the song with them right by your side.
24 inside 50s to 8, as you said. They just came. They gave up the first goal in the last quarter. We'll have a look at it all. We'll replay it all, the moments in those final minutes. But right now, this is something that Scott Pendlebury, he's done 300 or 400 times now, 399 other times. I'm not sure. 2 premierships makes this walk pretty special.
Yeah, it does.
It'll be up there.
It does. And Collingwood established themselves as the clutch kings again. It's another close finish that they've been known for so long, but this one, it means a lot for him.
There's a kickstart this season again. It felt like it was the old Collingwood tonight for big chunks of the game.
No doubt in my mind it does, Brownie. You said a couple of weeks ago on the couch that the aura was just starting to wobble a bit. Well, nights like this bring it back. Yeah. There was a hunger. They've got a sniff. They've got 3 games to go. We'll talk about it. We'll dissect it and unpack it in our post-game. We'll give it everything it deserves.
What a memory for the kids here in the theme song.
And right now, we'll just sit back and have a listen. Good.
Good scenes.
It'd be pretty cool having your old man play 400, wouldn't it?
Couldn't hear that.
Well, I could hear it, all the crowd singing in the background, but fantastic. Yeah, Darcy Cameron, that man, he was outstanding. He was in those middle two quarters especially. He dominated the airways.
There's only one down up for the day, and we won't dwell on it for now. David Seed will update us a little bit later, and that is Jordan Degoe, the man that you can see there who was subbed off. He was subbed off instantaneously. That's how bad the hamstring is, so there was no question about it. 3 rounds to go, finals hopefully from a Collingwood point of view on the agenda, but he ain't playing again in this home and away series. If I've learned anything from a medical point of view over the last 30 or 40 years,
Dr. Gary Lyon.
Yeah, that looked to me like a pretty bad one.
No, even the way he came off the ground, you go, and it's like, what sort of piece of the puzzle is he come forward? First game back after having a period off with groins, and then all of a sudden he's got a hamstring injury. He's that dynamic piece that we saw him in that first half, and he was the difference. He's just that one out the front of stoppage. You go, well, when we need something to happen around stoppage and get that burst through stoppage, he was the player to do it.
I'm not looking forward to it from a macabre point of view, but having a look at the McGovern kick again, it looked to me like he lost all perspective of where he had to kick it.
He got too close
to Mason Cox. He took a long time to get there, so
pressure does.
That's what the moments are. He has been in that position before.
Yes, that's right. He kicked for Adelaide to win the game or to tie the game, and he kicked the goal that time.
Let's have
a little bit different feeling, I would have thought.
We're going to have a look at the ladder or the kick. We're going to have a look at the kick. So I just thought he got way too
good man
close.
on the mark, Mason Cox.
I think that was the clever part. As soon as McGovern took that mark, Mason Cox knew that he had to be the one to take that mark.
That's because Mason Cox was his direct opponent. Mason fell asleep.
He was zoning off, but even to come up and realise that moment, he could have gone back to the goal square and said, "Oh no, I was folding back, helping out the defence," but to come up and to man that, and just made him kick over fingers too hard. Game is done.
I remember Sticks Kernahan put one out in the full too to win the game.
And then he kicked one, I think, the week later with a helicopter.
That's right, he did
put him in the final.
Sorry, Sticks, if you're watching.
I think it was on top. The ladder, let's have a look at it, because there's stuff going on. We're going to go to Eddie Betts and Jono as well. I've been keeping an eye on this other game between Sydney and Port Adelaide. Have a look at Port Adelaide if you don't mind. What they did to Sydney, we haven't seen a second of it. All we saw was a scoreline coming through. Sydney have lost to Port Adelaide by 112 points.
Gary, it was 71-0.
Work that out.
How much percentage of Sydney dropped?
Well, they dropped 8 on the live ladder at some point, but certainly tonight. They
would have gone from 7th to 2nd.
Brownie said to me while we were looking at those scores, he said 4 weeks ago it was Sydney Carlton grand final. The rest can sort themselves out.
Yeah. That's a confidence killer, that game. Yeah. That is something. Well, I can't wait to go home and have a look at that replay, but that is...
Well, you don't win grand finals.
Not like that.
Performances like that so close to September.
Well, we'll find out exactly what took place when we do get to Jono and Eddie, but we'll wait for a Collingwood player to join us. But let's relive some of these fourth quarter moments, the most dramatic fourth quarter in what is going to be a game for the ages, really. So, as I said, Jamie Elliot's kicked his first goal in the last quarter, puts them 32 points up, puts Collingwood 32 points up, and they're home.
Pendlebury set that up too.
He did. He had score involvement there, and then what we said would happen at three-quarter time happened. They just took everything off the table and said, let's go. Let's spread the ball. Wiedering was great, winning the ball back, intercepting in their front half. And Holland's kicks, Owies gets it back to 19 points. You think, well, they're half a chance here.
Yeah, they did. And what happens here is the pressure started to come on to Collingwood, and they lost their way a little bit, Collingwood. They started to trade in, so they started to try and put the pressure on. That there was really smart there from young Motlop, just to square that one up. And even here from Martin, just got it through quickly and gave him more time to get these last 2 goals.
So Martin kicks this, they're back to 14 points, and you think they're back in this. Blake Akers has been a player that can just get forward at the right time. The wingers, the dangerous wingers from the Carlton Footy Club, and again gets to the right spot, kicks a goal, gets it to 8 points. And with about 5.5 minutes to go at this stage, and we're looking around at these Collingwood supporters and say, this can't be happening. And then when this goes through, you're saying, yes, it can.
And a lot of this stuff came from clearance. So the one thing that they did differently in the fourth quarter, I think that Kennedy was a big part of it. Cripps was certainly a big part of it. Start defensive side and get through the stoppage and just cause a little bit of chaos. And on the back of that, Carlton found themselves getting the ball from the inside to the outside. Their shape was really good and was able to capitalise on top of that.
This was critical. This was about 90 seconds to go. Did he have a play on this, Jamie Elliott? If he had a play?
No, he didn't. No.
He didn't have a play inside in the boundary line then. He fumbled it over anyway.
No, it was Carlton D.
Into the ball. Oh, big pardon.
Yep, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Big pardon. So and this is the play. This is the ensuing play. So right now he's got one in the old Mellon. Mitch McGovern, everyone's just sitting back. We're jumping around like idiots. We've got no investment in the game at all. But he didn't hit his leg. He didn't score.
I thought one of my golf shots this morning goes, what a shame. He'd be disappointed with that though, but they got some life about it. The first and last quarters felt like Carlton were really proactive around stoppages. What happened in the middle 2 quarters?
Well, they just got on. I think what Collingwood did was control the outside. So credit to them to be able to change momentum. 1 goal late to start the game doesn't help Carlton either. They had a bit of momentum in the first term, but it's just the inconsistency in games that is costing Carlton at the moment.
Really
well, we said this was finals-like. The pressure was, from a Carlton point of view, you're pretty happy with the numbers. You're 200 at the front, 200 at the back. It's in the middle that you'd probably want to go and revisit. But the fact that they hit back in the manner that they did is going to hold them in really good stead. And you suspect they'll play finals, or who knows, in this crazy season. But what Collingwood are able to do will be the story of the night. And I just got a sense that the defence, which looked a bit almost gone when Hawthorn beat them by 60-odd points a couple of weeks ago, the defence is alive.
Yeah, they showed a bit last week in terms of their defence, but also their offence and getting that fast ball movement up, which is predominantly based around their small half forwards and their wings as well. We saw more of it tonight. So that offensive side is building as well, which works into their defensive side too.
Well, let's go down to the Collingwood rooms to the man of the moment. He's probably just about had a gut full of doing interviews, but when he's thinking about the script last night, maybe laying awake, I don't reckon you saw it unfold like this, Pendles. On behalf of everyone at Fox Footy, mate, congratulations, an extraordinary night.
Yeah, thank you. Sort of our story the last couple of years, we find ourselves in close games. So, to be honest, the week was pretty big, but coming in tonight, I felt really relaxed and, confident we found a little bit of form last week and, was really excited for the game tonight against Carlton. A lot was on the line for both sides and, glad that the toss of the coin went our way at the end there.
Well done, Pendles. Congratulations. You've had a great career to date. Obviously, you've got plenty more to come, hopefully. How did you feel tonight in game? Once the when the whips were cracking, did it feel any different?
No, to be honest, once the siren started, it felt normal. In terms of my legs and energy, I felt great out there. It did feel like a finals-like atmosphere out there. So it's always exciting to play in those games. And so in terms of energy expenditure, I was probably Wednesday night. I think I was cooked, but luckily we had a day off Thursday and was able to relax a little bit. The kids were out of the house and Alex had work, so I had the house to myself and just chilled out for the day.
Pendles, congratulations, 400 games and obviously a great win. Fascinated to know what you were saying to Nick Dacos. 3 minutes to go. It's sort of we know you're the general out there on the field, but you were pointing to Nick Dacos at the stoppage on the far wing and started asking him to step away from the stoppage. What was going through that communication line there?
I don't know if you guys could see, but they were pulling us all defensive side and trying to rush through that attacking side of the stoppage. So obviously Nick had a tag with him, so had to sacrifice his game a little bit, but felt like if we could have a body there, it stops that momentum where they're just surging from defensive side of the stoppage all the way through. So I thought Nick was fantastic, put himself there, another body, another group of people that Carlton had to try and rush through.
Pendles, congratulations. I think as you get older, you probably get a better chance to reflect when you're in the moment. When you're young, you probably reflect at the end of something that's happening. Have you had a chance to reflect and you only see that photo that you took during the week with all the other 400 game players and you sit absolutely comfortable with them? How's the week been just reflecting in the moments that you've had?
Yeah, as I said, like Wednesday was a really big day. I took it all in though, and I was so grateful just for all the support, the messages, people down the street. When I've been down the street, everyone's been so kind to me and wished me all the best for tonight. And I've had a chance to sit back with my family and talk about my career to date. And it's been filled with everything you could ask for, and hopefully there's another little bit left to write.
Yeah, after this win, the energy that this will obviously drive for the last 3 games, in your mind, what's possible this year? Is there still this hunger inside this group?
Oh, absolutely. I think we showed it tonight. Our best footy stacks up. We had large portions of that game where we were well and truly in control. We probably couldn't get much scoreboard dominance for that, but with this group's really confident.
in what we can achieve, but we know that we've put ourselves in a position where every week's really important for us. So if we keep winning, I think we're going to be okay, but we've got to keep winning in what is a really tricky competition at the moment.
We've spoken about how you felt pre-game. We've spoken about how you felt during the game. How were you feeling when Mitch McGovern was having that shot after the siren, mate?
I sort of just laughed and put my hands out as we have no control of what's about to happen. And my mind did flash back to a game where he took a hanger against us when he was playing for Adelaide and slotted it. So, I just sat there and watched, and it was a little bit of an awkward one. I didn't really want to celebrate too hard because, obviously he was going to be really disappointed. So I made sure to get across to Mitch and, tell him that at least he put himself in that position to have a go for it. And we were on the right end of what is a pretty lucky result.
One of Fly's rituals after the game is to go home, enjoy a nice bottle of red and watch the replay. Does he get a bottle of the Pendlebury juice?
Absolutely he does. He gets a bottle of the Pendlebury juice. He can drink that tonight on my behalf, and I think I'll be asleep in the car on the way home.
Yeah, well, you deserve it, and congratulations. Still work to be done, but it's a super special night tonight, one you'll remember forever. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate the support, guys. Thank you.
Scott Pendlebury, there it is. As we said, there's been milestone games, and there's been plenty of them. I doubt whether there's been one as dramatic as that.
He had pretty handy numbers as well. He had a fair influence on the game. It was fantastic.
Let's have a look at his game.
He had 27 touches and nearly 500 metres gained. And from the get-go, he's the director out there, and they had their backs against the wall early because Carlton were fantastic, had a lot of territory early. He went to work just to try and get the game back in Collingwood's favour.
We went to half back as well, and that's the thing is that I think he puts himself wherever he needs to. It was fascinating that he could out on the ground see that Carlton were coming through the stoppage. We had the best view of that, and I nearly jumped the fence and I fought him if they gone through, but he could see that Carlton were coming out the front of the stoppage, so he thought, well, what to do here? Do I go and put myself there? Oh no, someone's getting tagged, Nick Dacos, I'm going to put him there. But him and Dacos just have this ability to bring other players in the game, and that is the best thing you can do. They're force multiplier for your teammates and make your other teammates look great.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing is there's just no linking to the line in any way, shape or form. So he's playing game number 400 and he goes and stands next to and plays on the Brownlow medal favourite. So that's the level of faith and the level of trust that they've got in him and his body to be able to do that, and he's had an impact.
I think the worst he looked, guys, was 2020. He's looked good for 3 or 4 years. 2020, he looked like he was in a bit of trouble in that final series, that COVID year. But now he looks like he's found another gear.
I think this is what happens when, and I learned more about Scott Pendlebury this week than I've known because I read all the articles and stuff, and I knew he was professional. I knew he had great attention to detail. But I think as you get older, you get to understand your body better and what works for you and what doesn't, and you're probably crossing the T's and dotting more I's than you ever have in your career because you know you have to. And he's running as well as he has. He's covering the ground as well as he has, and I don't think he's committed to next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes beyond.
How do you reckon our mate here is feeling? He gave Pendlebury's wine a bit of a pump up, hoping that he'd return the serve for DML, but he didn't give you any pump up back to.
No, he gave me a bottle of wine. It's a beautiful juice.
No, I think you were having a bit of promo for yourself there.
No, I think the other thing with Pendlebury, you speak to Bucks about him, who knows him really well, is he's just, in terms of his emotions, just neutral. Never gets too high, never gets too low, and that's the challenge with professional sport, is to not ride those waves. And probably a credit to why, or certainly an attribute to making that 400 mark.
So Bobby Hill was really important, an Norm Smith medalist, and almost symbolic, I reckon. So he got back to the sort of form that had Collingwood winning the premiership last year. And I guess this is the question I'm getting out tonight, and we'll go through some other stuff. But when Hawthorn beat them by 66 points a couple of weeks ago, it looked like the premiership defence was over, right? Now they come out here and play with this energy that was symptomatic of them last year. So I'm looking at that going, that energy and that pressure and that enjoyment in each other's performance can take you a long way, but it demands so much of you. When you haven't won a premiership, you get yourself up for it. Can they go back to the well again next week and emotionally invest as much as they did in this? That's the only query.
Yeah, I think they've got to sniff now September, haven't they, guys? They've got to sniff again at what their best footy is, and we'll talk about it a bit more as the week goes on. They're looking better now ahead of the ball, aren't they? Yeah, a lot of injuries ahead of the ball. 4 or 5 of their best forwards out week on, week out. Now, Cox back in, McStay gets back. Now, all of a sudden, Bobby Hill can go back to playing his normal role.
He had a mountain of space tonight.
Yeah, well, he can get out to the open side.
Get out to the open side. So those critical contests on the wing with all that space really allowed him. I think the De Goey injury, I know he hasn't played every single game this year, but that for me just has that cloud probably still hanging over. And you're right, the emotion to be able to back up. They've got a tough run. Sydney bouncing back after the disappointment, then Brisbane and Melbourne.
And Sydney might turn up.
That's probably as tough as it gets.
Between the arcs, they turned the footy over and scored, which is really significant through the course of the evening for the Pies.
Well, I think when they're playing their best, those defenders come forward. So we've mentioned they've played a spare behind the ball for the majority of the night. That communication to push the ball forward and then to be able to handball chain out was certainly a big feature of their game in the first half. Now that dried up in the last quarter. They went into probably trying to save the game type of mode, but that's when they're at their dangerous. That midfield turnover, bounce forward, get those options forward of the ball.
It's different to forward half turnover as well, which we know Carlton are so strong. And we spoke about Carlton being really flat in defence. Collingwood have always sort of got that back player that they can rely on, so that when they do rotate to defence, they try and be that proactive style
was
coming up. Jeremy Howe sat behind the ball perfect tonight and just was able to access the contest in front of him, but also access the contest that he was in. It gives you more space to offend as well. So instead of turning the ball over at 50 metres out, which sometimes thinks like a good idea because it's close to goal, actually turning it over at 90 metres out allows you more space for offence. So then you can get a bit wider, you can get a bit longer, and make your opposition have to defend a bigger patch of grass.
And Carlton conceding stoppage goals been an issue for them throughout the year. This one that ends up with Elliott. Lots of questions to be asked here.
Well, you're right. I mean, Bobby Hill just comes up, puts his defender in Boyd in a really vulnerable position, but you can't fall asleep. So you go there, you get drawn into the contest, and this is what Collingwood did so well, is they just maintained space and didn't get stuck in congestion. Once again, you see that, the gap between Bobby Hill and Boyd, you ball watch, and you've got to expect the worst in this, and then it's just a little bit of class forward of the ball to Hoskin Elliott, and then that was a goal. So you've got to play the play out until either you win the ball or someone scores.
We were watching Charlie Curnow late. Now, he went off the ground with an ankle. I know you were urging him to get more involved. We don't know how bad the ankle is, but the reality is this. He's been held goalless tonight for the first time in 66 matches. So that's almost 3 years of footy since he's been held goalless. I think the ankle injury obviously has contributed to it, but he wasn't even towards the end where he could have gone to the goal square and just stood in the goal square and hopefully drawn a free kick if in fact the ball went there. So
I think he goes looking for easy spots. And you don't get easy spots as a forward. Well, it doesn't go to easy spots, that's right. When players are under pressure up the field, you've got to put yourself more in line. So, yes, granted the injury, okay, but I'm just talking in general, guys. We spoke about it last year with his final series. He's got to make it easier for his teammates to get him the ball in critical moments.
So is that his position, Brownie? So, because at the moment, for me, looking here, it looks like he sets himself up for the perfect kick. He's always hoping for the perfect kick. Now, whether that's sort of hoping for a 45-metre kick off the line that's really hard to do, or a lot of the one going back. I'd love to just see him sort of be a ground and pound forward, stick yourself between the goals and where the ball is, kick it to me, I'm either going to mark it or I'm going to bring it to ground.
Well, it's hopefully the ankle's okay, so let's just put that on the agenda. We don't know the extent of the injury and we hope he comes through okay, but he's going to be a watch as we head towards September. So he needs one of those big games that he's had throughout the home and away in the September setting.
Opens the Coleman medal race up as well. That's the other one tonight.
Well, Jordan De Goey won't be winning the Coleman medal. He has got a bad hamstring by the looks of it. Let's go down to David Zetas. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so the Pies obviously fearing that this is a significant hamstring injury. So Craig McRae admitted on Tuesday he wasn't sure if De Goey would play this week because of the groin soreness. He ultimately got the all clear. And this incident here, you could see him grab immediately at it and can barely put any weight on the foot. Went off the ground. As you said, Gary, it didn't look like a very good hamstring injury, if there is such a thing, and was back on the ground in crutches on the sidelines very shortly after. So he had put his hamstring woes behind him for the most part. In 2019 now, he missed 7 weeks with a hamstring, came back and then re-injured it in a qualifying final against Geelong. He'd got his body right for the most part. Obviously, the groin's been troubling him, but the hamstring injuries were a thing of the past. Clearly, it's returned with a vengeance. So,
all right, folks. All right, there's a bit of a wrap-up from the commentators. They were just going over Jordan De Goey, who pulled up with the hamstring. So we may not see him back for the rest of the season. It looks like by what they're saying. Budoy, how you going? Welcome in, Budoy. Good stuff. Eddie G is happier than me. I think he's still going. We'll catch you later, Paul. No worries. I remember that the Mitch McGovern one when he played for Adelaide, put it through. But yeah, that was a complete shank. He missed the entire lot. He was well within range. That the last kick after the siren, Mitch McGovern, and could have won the game for Carlton and put him in good stead for the finals. But now Carlton are on the ropes for the finals. We'll have a look at the live ladder in just a moment. But what a cliffhanger. The Pies got out to about a 32-point lead in that final quarter. Carlton came back to within 3 points. It was a nail-biter. It was, I tell you what, it was... you're going to go, Sir Mike? I need me support team now, alive, my team. Thank you, Sir Mike. Bye, Paul. Okay, thanks, Budoy. No worries. We'll catch you later. Thanks for dropping in here, Budoy. But yeah, Carlton had plenty of chances. I think they said it was 20-something, 24 inside 50s. There was a lot of inside 50s to about 8 to Collingwood in that last quarter. So Carlton were peppering the goal, their forward 50. It's still hard to believe that Collingwood ended up hanging on to winning that game when Carlton had so many chances in that final few minutes of the game. Of course, Collingwood only put on 1 goal 3 in that final quarter, but the Blue Baggers, they came home like a train, putting on 5 goals 1. Let's go and have a little bit of a look at the players' stats now. We'll see who ended up on top. We'll say this for the Carlton team. Paddy Cripps, I tell you what, he was the one who just about turned the game. He put Carlton in that position. He was by far the number 1 player on the ground in the final quarter, and that's what the great men do. And of course, the last few minutes in the game, Pendlebury held his ground well for Collingwood, the 400 man, and kept them with their noses in front until the last kick after the siren where Carlton had their chance to win that game. George Hewitt, 32. Sam Walsh, 32. Paddy Cripps ended up with 30. Dacos ended up best for Collingwood with 28. Scotty Pendlebury, the 400 man, 27 touches. 12 kicks, 15 handballs, 1 mark, 6 tackles, 9 clearances. Well done, Scotty Pendlebury, on your 400. And I'll just roll down the stats for everyone there. Mitch McGovern, 21 disposals. Josh Dacos, 20. Hoskin Elliott was good for the Pies with 19 disposals tonight. Kicking 2 goals, 2. Bobby Hill did a great job. Missed the goals a little bit, 16 touches, 1 goal, 4. Brody Kemp in there for the Blues with 15. Jack Martin, not a bad game for him with 13 touches and a couple of goals for him. Let's just run down the stats just so you can see the stats. I think the commentators are just about finished. Harry Mackay had a quiet one for the Blue Baggers, and of course, Curnow was held goalless for the first time since, I think, round 1 2022. So he's gone about 66 matches or so kicking a goal. So that record has been broken. Let's have a look at the goal scorers on the ground. There was no standout for the goals. It was shared by many, many players. And the ones who ended up with 2 goals were Jack Martin, Hollins, Fogarty for the Blues, and for the Pies, Will Hoskin Elliott with 2 with Jordan Degoe and Mason Cox, the big man. Singles to Lockie Schultz, Owies, McStay, Mackay, Hollins, Bobby Hill, Jamie Elliott, Nick Dacos, Jack Crisp, Paddy Cripps, and Blake Akers. They are the goal kickers. A little look at the fantasy points. Nick Newman heading the table there, 145. Sammy Walsh, 130. 110 to Hewitt. Cripps, 107. Darcy Cameron, 102. And the rest under 100. Let's just have a wrap up of the team stats. Carlton won overall on disposals by 50, and that was in the kicking. You can see the handballs, they had pretty much the same handballs there, 124, 123. Inside 50s, Carlton by 7 there, and of course a lot of those came in the last quarter. where they peppered the goals quite often, and Collingwood had real trouble in actually getting the ball past midfield into their forward 50. As I said, only 8 inside 50s for Collingwood in that final quarter. 67 and 73 the disposal efficiency, not too bad for either side. Inside 50s, 44, dropped away a little bit, Carlton, in the last quarter. Just the lack of, lack of score. I'm pretty sure they were a little bit high there at three-quarter time. 52 for the Pies. Free kicks, 16 to 21. A few iffy free kicks, but there was no free kicks that determined the game, which is always good. Paul gave me advice to thinking about cashing out my multi. We'll see. Billy, go. Ooh, Pies. Good stuff, Billy. It was a great game. Tell you what, it came down to the last kick of the game. Oh, what are you going to do, Eddie? What are you going to do? You're going to cash out your $5 multi? Take the winnings now? Or do you think Freo? Do you back Freo? Do you back Brisbane? Do you back the Hawks? It's a good question. That's a good question. Actually, I'll have a look at that in a minute. Who do they play tomorrow? Anyway, the hitouts, the Pies doubled the Blues, 52-26 in the hitouts. Clearances, pretty similar, only 7 the difference. Centre clearances, even there, 12-11. Stoppages, clearances, the Blues by 8. Contested possession, pretty much similar. Look at that uncontested possession for the Blues, though. By 70. Wow. There we go. Well and truly in control there. Turnovers, 64-61. That's actually not too bad. As I said, as the commentator said, and I commented, this felt like a final, this game. This was an epic game. I didn't quite get the number of the crowd tonight, but they would have had to have been somewhere up in the vicinity of 85,000, I would imagine, 85, 90. 95,000 there at the game. The marks, Carlton well on top in the marks by about 50, inside 50 marks, 11 apiece, contested, 3 ahead to the Pies there. Defensive tackles, they both tackled well in defence, 59-51, and 4-6 for the inside 50 tackles, Carlton by 2 there. The 1%ers, Collingwood did the 1%ers there a little bit better. They were a fair bit over their season average, 65-41, Carlton smack on their season average. So there we go. Let's have a little bit of a look now. Is this the Geelong? Let me just try and reload this and get there we go. There is the live ladder now. So for Carlton and Collingwood, after this match tonight, Carlton dropped down to 7th and are vulnerable to drop out of the 8. But I don't think it'll be this week, because I am pretty sure GWS play Hawthorn. So who, if you're a Carlton supporter, who would you want to win that game? GWS or Hawthorn? If GWS win, they'll go above Carlton. If Hawthorn win, well, they'll actually stay 9th on the ladder, but a scary opposition. And what that means for the Magpies, they go from 40 to 44, and they're now just one game outside of the top 8. But their percentage does let them down. That is like an extra game of percentage there, the Pies. So the Pies need to win their final 3 games of the home and away season to be a chance. And I think they've got a good chance of victory for those. I believe they've got Richmond, Sydney and Melbourne for their final 3 games. Freo fan wants Hawthorn to win. There we go, Santa. Oh, you want Hawthorn to win? Oh yeah, for the multi. Well, I'm thinking, will Hawthorn continue their run? They are like the informed team of the competition outside of Footscray and the Brizzy Lions. I think from what I've seen for Hawthorn may just have too much pressure for the Giants. So that is the 8. As I said, it is still anyone's opportunity to finish in the top 4. And it's just so close, especially after Sydney got absolutely crunched by Port Adelaide by over 100 points tonight. Very, very interesting. All right, let's have a look at GWS and Hawthorn. Yeah, I think Hawthorn may win that game tomorrow. I think they're going to bring the pressure of the form, what they've had in the past few weeks. As I said, they are the informed team, and they are the team that is most scary for an opposition to play in this point in time. And if you can get put enough pressure on GWS, they can falter. So I think Hawthorn might take that game out. And of course, the Giants are 183 in that game, and the Hawks are 197. Of course, the next game you got Essendon and Fremantle playing that at the MCG tomorrow. 220 the Bombers, 165 the Dockers. It's a game the Dockers have got to win. It's also a game, well, this is where it's going to test them out. Are they good enough to be where they are on the ladder? The answer is they should beat Essendon, but Essendon are that type of team that can really bring the heat when they're on song. So that's going to be a really good game tomorrow. But unfortunately, I won't be covering that game. I'll just cover the GWS Hawthorn, and the final game of the round will be St Kilda versus the Lions. St Kilda 244, the Lions 154. I think that's a pretty good bet for Brisbane. And I think they are the team to. I think they're the team to beat at the moment. I think they are the number one side of the competition at this present time. So Swans could easily miss the top four. Absolutely. You know, the way their form is, I can't see how they can turn it around. Their form's been pretty ordinary in the past few weeks. So I don't know. Really don't know where the Swans are going to get, their form back. The Swans have lost their last three. They've lost 4 of their last 5. And the game they won was against North Melbourne. The Swans lost to St Kilda. They lost to the Brisbane Lions. They lost to the Bulldogs, and then they got absolutely crunched by Port Adelaide. And the thing is, the Swans find it really hard to score. So there we go. There we go. So they certainly could miss. They certainly could miss the top 4. Only a game and a half. Of course, with each loss, their percentage is going to drop, and it's. I'm sure they're looking a little bit worried at this present time. All right, let's just have a little bit of a listen to the Carlton coach as he gets interviewed after the game.
2 poor quarters. That one was probably a bit closer to 3, and one we let ourselves down on.
They did. They had their moments, but the reality is they've lost 4 of the last 5, and the one win was against North Melbourne. That's the form line that they've got coming into September with 3 games to go, and the 3 opponents are Hawthorn at the MCG next week, which doesn't get any easier given the way the Hawks are playing. West Coast over there. The Eagles have had a win on the weekend and finish off with the Saints at Marvel, and who knows what St Kilda you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's some positive signs, though, especially late in the game. So as Vossi said, you can pick up on that. I feel as if Collingwood maybe got a bit of a spark last week, albeit against Richmond, and they carried that into tonight. So at least they can now see it on not film, what do they call it? Tape, TV, whatever it is.
Computers
the video, computer, the laptop.
They don't get in there and start rolling it around like this and projects up on the screen.
I said that last night, didn't I?
On the beta.
I know what you mean, big fella. But anyway, they won't be looking any further ahead than round 22 at the MCG next week for the Blue Baggers. Jacko?
Well, it's on these occasions, Brownie, it's good to always look back to where we've come from. I like to reminisce from game 400.
Bit of retro.
I want to take us back to 2006 when the great man Scott Pendlebury debuted, which of course you played in his debut.
2006?
Yeah, round 10 was Scott Pendlebury's first game. He had 14 and kicked 4. So I thought I'd bring up a still of all of us from what we look like in 2006.
This doesn't happen on a Friday night.
Saturday night. I do Saturday nights usually. You guys are in my domain.
Usually we're dancing.
Brownie, you were a bit tired here, I think, in this photo we caught from you from 2000. There you are there, looking beautiful today.
Yes, there you go.
There you are. You absolutely. You want to...
Like that in the front. Actually, that's what I'm doing off camera at the moment. I was in 5 to 11.
Cop a great sleep.
and with your segment. Go on, keep going.
Geordie. Good to look at Geordie. You look striking tonight, Jordan. Where are you from 2006?
Oh, they're not bad.
Look at the guns.
Bit chubby.
No,
The face.
Yeah, yeah,
Got the pipes, though. Nice tan.
There you go.
Gums look all right.
Hey, you've retained the hair too. Done well.
Oh, Gaz, you are absolutely cutting
This
a
is the one
fine
I'm
figure
looking
here.
for.
This is one of the great ones as well. Now, I am so...
Wow.
You can see that you're working for a rival network, and we are so thankful to have you here because you could have been over at the Olympics with Tubby Taylor commentating on the diving, but you're here on a Saturday night. Had the equestrian.
Could have moved aside. I would have taken it.
Why couldn't you have got him dressed as Cher on the cannon?
We've moved past that. We've moved past that, John.
What were you doing, Jack? 2006.
I was at draft camp.
Draft camp.
Draft camp. There you go.
Have a look at that. That is that's a melon and a half.
That is a melon and a half. Look at that.
But your shoulders are skinny than mine.
Look like a lizard.
Did you extend this to our friends back in the studio, Eddie and Johnny?
I think that they might have something back in the studio.
All right, folks, that's it. That's it for this game and the live for tonight. The commentators, they're going off topic now, so there we go. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming in. Thanks, Eddie G. Well done. Oh, okay. Let's head over to that now. Let's over to that now. That'll be good. Hang on a minute. I'll drop that link there, Eddie. Let me just hang on a sec, folks. Just a moment. Here we go. Let's head over. All right, folks. Thanks everyone for coming in tonight. Just going back to the poll, we had 78 votes on who was going to win this game, and of course, Collingwood was 67% of the vote to win this game. Carlton 32%, and the 1% is floating in thin air. I don't know where that other 1% goes. Always disappears. But yeah, out of the 78 votes, well done. 67% went for the Pies. Well done to them. Well done for Collingwood. Good luck for the rest of the season. Commiserations to Carlton. Don't be too hard on yourself. You played a good game tonight. Nearly got there. All right, folks. Thanks all for coming in. We're going to head over now to a Friends Live, and that link is just there. If you want to come over and say hello, feel free to come over, say good day. We'll be there. Me and Adrian's Sport and Karaoke channel will be there, and I'll be there. Should be good. All right, folks, thanks everyone for coming in, and we'll see everyone tomorrow for the two games that's going to be happening there tomorrow. Of course, that's GWS and Hawthorn. And the other game, I can't even remember the other game now. What's the other game? St Kilda and Brisbane. St Kilda and Brisbane. All right, cool banana. All right, folks, thanks very much for coming in, listening to this great game, celebrating Scotty Pendlebury's 400th game, getting him into the record books. Absolutely fantastic. All right, folks, thanks a lot, and we'll see you tomorrow.